to this week's BrickTalk. It's last week. So after a bit of a break, welcome everybody to this week's BrickTalk. And we're having a nice little chill conversation about the market in the midst of the earnings season. As usual, every week I remind everybody that I'm not a licensed investment advisor, and though Danai is one, nothing I said on the show should be taken in any way, shape, or form as investment advice, right? Don't buy or sell anything just because you hear it on the show, or hear us talk about it on the show, or hear us laugh on the show, or anybody who comes on the show talks about it, all right? So, with that said, how things? How you doing tonight? Figured we could. Well, there no shade this week, and inshallah, I know she's out. No shade this week, but I do know that is the start of the. Is it the second earning season for the year? And yes, yeah, and it's certainly. I mean, results have been coming out hard and fast, so I figured it's a good chance to talk about some of them, and yeah, whichever ones like have caught people's eyes, caught people's fancy, caught people's imaginations or excitement. I know some of them, based on at least some of the things I've seen on social media and the things that people message me saying, I know some of them have been exciting for some people. I know some of them shocked me, so I guess we can start with those. I don't want to trample anybody point. Anything jump out to you immediately, Danai?
Some money from the tax company.
Tax company. Carreras?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's one that jumped out to me immediately also. And the people watching on YouTube can see, or people watching or on Twitter can see. Carriers put out the Q1 numbers with revenue up. What's the percentage? What's the big numbers you saw tonight?
Those are another billion on the bottom line.
Uh, roughly 77.9% increase in profits. Yeah, 2.5 billion in profits for the first quarter versus 1.4 billion in the same quarter last year.
Yes.
Massive profit increase from Carreras.
So they win lotto.
Right? Yeah, well, doing a bit better
More
than
than
the
win
lotto.
lotto.
Yeah, man, much more than win lotto. And this is on the back of them having declared a 46-cent dividend, which at the current
Yes,
price a
sir.
yield of over 2%. Which I think might be telling. I know in the girl group somebody had mentioned, I don't know who it was. Was it you, Phil, who had mentioned something about the dividend being like a bit of a precursor?
He's got another
Last
surgery
Phil.
now. Yeah.
Yeah, it looks so. All right. But yeah, if it was him or whoever it was, shout out to them. I mean, 46-cent dividend with that kind of yield, it compared to the same, it's almost double
Yep.
what the dividend was for the
Mm-hmm.
in Q2 last year.
Money.
Yeah, man, some serious money from Carreras. I mean, the stalwart companies have.
I'm clearing out some tabs right now. To get space to open these things.
I I was checking something the other night. I think this is 40 years, their 40th year of being
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
40. I want to 40 straight years.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 40 consecutive years of dividend payments. Um, that's there's Carriers has the PR dividend. I don't know if you have the PR
Dividend. Yeah, man. They
grown.
you talk about dividend, you talk about careers. Trying to make our boy to this.
Yep, 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 yeah. So
Also, trying to make above seven.
about 7.
Above seven.
Did it or today?
Yeah. Trading
Oh,
nice above seven.
I did not. No, did it end the day above 7 too?
Very likely. I didn't check. I funny. I needed some money, so I was going to thing there, and my transfer maker shares for about 7. So I was like, well, happily so.
Wow.
So it was a bit of a surprise in a way, I guess, for me. I was waiting on it, but nicely above it, 7.15 and a nice price there. So it wasn't 7 and hugging the zeros. It was properly above it.
And that might be another one of 719. Wow, yeah, 52-week high
Mm-hmm.
today.
Yeah, sure. Yep.
Wow.
Breaking boundaries. It's a great year for the transfer maker so far.
Yeah. Which would
Despite the
explain.
fear they got it that dip there. The balling, which to me was a great time to buy if it is serious.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I've
The
been.
thing is, why I said that one, I was hearing the opposite. It was doom. It was a doom of so transfer maker down and on the back of a dividend that isn't as great as the one last year. It was the feelings points. It wasn't the reality points. It was boy, I hear for the feelings and the feelings not taking me the way I wanted to. So the opposite was I was trying to make a dip, dividend not great, and then they married the two, and for some reason it's disappointing for them. And
Would that mean the
yeah,
dividend
although
was
I mean
no?
on the show we did say yeah it's good, but it's not brand new. It's not we want to make X amount more dividend. It's not what they wanted to hear. That's what I was gathering.
Maybe.
And even
Yeah.
even all the musings around. So the dividend news drop and the price not flying, so that means people not expecting the dividend. It's priced in, and people not happy with the dividend. It's priced in. But we've always said the people you think you're talking about aren't the people that doing the thing that's being done.
True. And also,
So it's not a matter of me and you excited as retail, because as usual, the retail we look at each other and I'm asking you, Randy, are you excited about the dividend? I want to say I am, but I'm going to only say I'm excited if you sound excited and if the price excited too. I mean, you're not going to trade it, but if the price do something, then I can say I've proven my hypothesis, but in reality, the thing you're saying has nothing to do with reality. Yeah. So I'm excited about the dividend if you're excited about the dividend, and we're both excited about dividend if what we perceive as everybody doing what we think we're doing is excited as well. So the price must go up. I'm not going to move it. Dividend will come. Price must go up. I'm not going to be the one to move it, and then I'm going to say how I feel on the basis of all of that.
well, I mean, uh, uh, I I think I just hear that same thing that the Mars attribute to Buffett. When others are fearful.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Greedy when others are fearful, right? But
Yeah.
again, nobody realizes they're the others.
I know, yeah, nobody realizes is it the funny thing about knowing that is that in the moment where it's applicable, you can't remember it. Most people don't remember it. It
Yeah.
is literally
or they,
hard
or
to
they
say, yo,
misapply it. They put themselves on the other side of the fence. So greedy when
yeah,
others are fearful. All right, it's falling. I'm not going to be greedy now. I'm on the opposite side. So, which is a very interesting thing, right? Because I think it's very much tied to the thing that you always say. What actually moves share prices, and
yes.
that being a reality of if for something to happen, up or down movement, that's it's a trade either way, right? It's not a matter. Things don't happen on the back of no activity. So when I see a lot of trades happening, me trading down, that's somebody buying it. So I can't really people attribute the move. If it moves up, that's when they think other people buying it. If it moves down, then suddenly people selling it into a vacuum, and they're not really getting that. A lot of people are buying it right now. Yeah. So
The selling going on. Yeah,
Yeah,
people we
so
talk about one side of the transaction.
mhm,
Yeah,
mhm.
yeah, I say, if nobody, sorry, you weren't finished. Finish what you're saying.
Oh no, no, that's not. I think that's it. Yeah,
Yeah, it's just
but
if nobody, the price can't
nobody.
fall if nobody buys.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
and the
If
price
nobody,
can't rise if
if
nobody
nobody,
sells.
if nobody buys, then there's no sale.
Exactly. uh, and it's a deeper point because what at least why I say to people, why I want people to get it, is the understanding that your investment is not just you alone. Once you're out there in the public market, if you're thinking about on even if you're thinking about only you alone, or even if you buy it, unless you work at the company, you can't really. So if you think about a bike just for the dividends, unless you work at the company and like the massively profitable part of whatever the company does, you can't really determine the dividends, right? You can't determine how things will go. You can't determine how things will turn out on your own. And if you're not doing that, if you're facing whether or not you want to face the reality of what it is to invest on the market, you have to consider what other people are thinking or how other people are seeing it. And that means also that you are other people. So the thinking of, the selling and whatever, oftentimes it's just fear. That's why it often is. For me, I guess if you look me on the wrong day and I don't know how to like, I think of it as baby people along and okay, yeah, what do you think is happening? Instead of just being plain with it, like, yo, you don't know what's happening, don't make up a pretty story. Because
Hmm.
the pretty story that we're gonna make up now won't make any sense next week,
Yeah,
right?
exactly that.
It won't make any sense next week. And that's usually fine in spaces where nobody is going to ask you about what you said last week. But if you're actually investing against it, if you're actually trying to come up with a sensible way of investing, then people need to question that sort of stuff. I was thinking about where the 15th, you go back a week, we're looking on like the 8th and 9th, the 6 days, and you go back a week before that, it was 692. Go back a week before that, go back a week before that. So 4 weeks ago it was dying. Yeah, 4 or 5 weeks ago it was dying. Start of April, a month ago. Yeah.
Sky is
It was,
falling.
yeah, the sky was falling, but the sky is always falling every single
Yes,
day.
sir.
The world is always about to end. Um, and if you're excited about where it is now, it's the best advice I could give anybody here is to think about how you felt a month ago when it dropped below $6, and you're like, boy, it did not work out. Because think about everything that you're thinking, how you're feeling a month ago, and it was there. And more important than the stock is that feeling and that thinking and understanding, because that's what's going to drive you through all the investment decisions. And if you're just making it off that, then you're always going to be led by the thing, because there's always something that's always going to be blowing up, and there's always something that's going to be great and just about to happen. And anybody selling you anything is going to make it sound like it's the greatest thing ever. So every IPO is going to be the greatest thing ever. Every APO is sold as the greatest thing ever, even though they're all terrible. And everything any raise is going to be told of as being so great. And if you just go off the feelings, you'll get blown in the wind. If you're trying to actually make profit, if you're trying to find out, if you want to be, if you're a regular person, you want to make some money on the stock market for yourself for whatever reason, and you want to be able to do it deliberately and repeatedly, you need to move past the what is happening with whatever. You have to have a steady, sensible basis on which you make the decisions, the investment decisions, or you're going to be burnt every single time. Um, and more important than being burnt, even though people pay attention to the burnt a lot more, is you're going to miss out on opportunities like it falling below $6, and you're thinking the sky is falling instead of, yo, let me buy everything I can then. And you think, oh, but I never have no money to. You had money. There's things you could have sold. There's things you could there is there. If you knew that it was going to go from 597 up to where it is now 711, you would, if you knew for sure, you would be buying it. You'd be selling things to buy it. But because you don't know for sure, and you don't, none of us know anything for 100% certainty. But if you know with some amount of certainty, then you would act on it in that way. Um, and the point is not Trans Jamaica. The point is that feeling and that certainty, and learning to act on that certainty, and learning to actually act on it. So if you're thinking, Mohammed didn't know, if did you buy? Or if you didn't really know, you'd have bought.
Mm-hmm.
And it's in Trans Jamaica now, but it will happen with a bunch of other things. And Trans Jamaica again is it's most interesting. It's almost I still don't like it because of how it fools people. It's the stories that people have to make up
Yeah, it's the
themselves.
stories. It's the stories. The stories. It.
The stories are hard. The stories are hard
It's
because
hard, it's
again,
hard to break. It's hard to talk around. It's hard to actually give somebody the real of what's going on there. But for them, it's not a bad buy or anything. It's just a good buy in a lot of ways. But then I can't give it to you real. I can't tell you that the dividend isn't what you think it is. And the thing is, like, when I talk to somebody that's actually invested there, has made a good amount of money there, and then they say things, and then like when I have to show somebody that the money they've made there is not the dividends. When they tell
yeah.
me, when they show me how much dividends they've gotten, I read like if I don't want to get too close until I mean, sure, but like a client that is so they see how much money they've made from dividends. Like they haven't touched the account or anything. They look at
So
the
they
account,
see
they
the
look at it.
cash
They've had it.
coming.
They've,
Hmm.
they see the cash that they've gotten, and the conversation they're having is around dividends. And I point out that, but look how much money you've made in actual cap gains. There's no way you're telling me that the dividends is what was happening for you here. Like yeah, we had the conversation way back when you bought it and you made some good money there, but I know what we're talking about. You made it done well for you. So when I'm thinking I'm going to this conversation to talk about gain, to talk about all right, what about there? And they mention dividends in a way that does not really align what's the we can look at it's almost nothing compared to the cap gains they've made.
Well, I mean,
And I'm like,
yeah,
not even almost. It is nothing, bro. When I look, I
it's
have the
Trans
visual in my
Jamaica.
head
Is
right
the
now.
security is Trans
Yes,
Jamaica?
yes.
Yeah,
That's
then
I'm
then
looking.
yeah.
I have the visual in my head right now, so I don't know what but I'm looking at the night and day, no, bro. And I can't believe when them say the dividends in the way they say it. I said no. Mm-mm.
I I tell you, when most people say dividends, they don't mean dividends.
Yeah, but
Most people,
it's like, how do you not know when they say that, right? But I know I mean I can't tell you why I know that, but it's just there's a break from
talk.
reality when we talk about this, and so it's hard for me to talk to somebody there because then it's our and that's the kind of thing, right? Oh, I'm buying trans. Like, so, all right, we made X amount of cap gains on transfer because transfer is good. Like, this is part of the narrative I get. Like, transfer is good to me. I've made a lot of money there and dividends, and then I have to say, but the dividends when you're buying at $1 is not the same as when you're buying at 7. So if you're buying 4 dividends, it doesn't automatically become the best stock to buy. It's great comparative to the rest of the market, but if you're really talking about I'm buying 4 dividends, buying getting that one and the returns you're getting from dividends is not the same as when you're buying at 7 and getting the same dividend. So
The yield is completely different. Yeah,
completely different. Yeah.
but people, I get. It's the same problem I come across when I'm teaching. As I'm sure you come across when you're working, where the biggest gap is to get people across that gap of understanding like what you really want, and what you really want, and not saying it. I don't use a double negative. What you really want, and being clear with yourself about what you really want, and actually
Mm-hmm,
saying
mm-hmm.
what you want. Very,
Yes,
very, very,
yes.
very, very few people do it.
Very hard
Yeah.
thing. In fact, I will start on the people even throw out something that sounds nice to you because like and it doesn't actually fit the reality of what they want. I can tell you for a fact most people don't come to this investing thing with an actual figured out thought or goal around what do I actually want for my money. Like they'll tell you something short term and risky and whatever because it sounds good to say it. Because even to them, it sounds good if I could possibly get that, but they don't want the reality of trying to get that, right?
True. 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 True.
It's there's a true lack of deep thought when it comes to what do I actually want from money, or even fleshed out. Define what do I want from my money. What am I actually doing here? Why am I investing? It A lot of people invest. They start investing because they know they should. And it's just been it's the sense of irresponsibility they get that they say, oh wait, I can't be working and making this money and not doing these things. So I'm here. They're not really sure what here is supposed to do for me. So, and that's why you fall easily into narratives. Once
How do we?
you easily get the one size fits all, because if transfer maker is sold as the one size fits all, then of course I want that. And then suddenly it's how often a fearmonger will quote. I mean, this is very real, but fearmongers will quote and say, "Oh, past performance is not a thing that indication of future performance." But then the same fearmonger will tell you this thing on its past performance.
Correct.
Transfer make a move from $1 something to seven.
144.
So
Yeah.
transfer maker is a great buy. Work so. It doesn't mean I can even say I can. Transfer make a move from 1 to 6. All right, tell me when you move to 30.
Yeah.
you,
Yeah.
you realize the same thing you're saying. You're telling me that I should buy it because it moved from 1 to 6. You're telling me I should buy it at 6 because I moved it to 30. Are you
You're
really telling
telling
me
me
right
that you
now?
should buy it on past performance.
Exactly that.
Exactly, exactly that. And it makes the conversations harder, which is like I have to be reminding myself, like, that's the point of why I started doing earnings, I started doing Brick Talk. It's so that people could have better conversations, more honest conversations that can lead to profit and has led to profit. So many people. And I think it literally only benefits people when you have the more honest conversation, even if it don't seem nice in the moment. Because the nice thing in the moment is to just agree with everybody. I wonder about like how to. I don't know. I don't know. Like you could sell things so great.
So
Oh yeah,
easily,
man, it's
bro.
good. Oh, it's
That's when the industry axioms and lies. It feels so easy to tell
yep.
somebody, yo, the market is down. So that's why the stock that we were looking at is not doing what we wanted to do. Or I
Yeah,
could tell you
yeah.
that the plans that they had never really worked out in the way that they wanted it to. Or it happened and the market just never cared in the way we wanted it to.
But that don't sound as nice.
That was sound as nice. And it almost, and I know, so then I immediately know why people in industry will say it. Because it protects me if I say that to them.
Yeah,
I suddenly become the easy person. I say, "Oh, no, it's not our fault. It's not a fault of how we're thinking. It's not something that could be corrected. It's just a storm just happened. The
Yeah.
market is a natural disaster. That is the market to a lot of people. It's You couldn't do anything about the decisions we're making. We can't tweak anything. We can't change anything. We can't do anything going for. It's just the market happened to us.
Yep. Which
And we also ignore the negative of that kind of talk. We suddenly make the market into a thing that happens to people. We suddenly make it
magical thing.
not possible. Exactly, it becomes a buck up thing. Versus, hey, I can actually look at something, a company, and make decisions around it because I actually expect certain things of it. It's Carriers is a good company. If you wanted to buy a company 10 years ago that pay a really good dividends and would have good cap gains, you could have buy Carriers. Or it could have just buck-ups. It could have just been the buck-ups. Imagine 10 years ago you're having a conversation around Carriers deep and whatever. And you say that if you look at that and say, boy, if the market is this buck up thing, then you can't actually in good faith have that conversation around careers, right?
Yeah, but it benefits if most people don't know better. That so
Of course, yeah.
I don't know how to. I don't even know if I want to these days. If you want to make it better, but for the people listening, the people watching, you want to get better. At least this is a conversation. This is a space you can have it, and I encourage anybody to jump on. I see Andy B. Bimrock is saying, shout out Andy B. I also see him in the space. Andy B, if you send a speaker request, we'd love to do it. Maybe it's a good thing we can talk about it. It being trans Jamaica in a great way. You said on YouTube, as I'm new to TJH, is the retail story different to the business story? And if you send a speaker request and explain what you mean when you say the retail story versus the business story. Just so we can, I want to be sure that I'm answering what it is. And further to Danai's point, while we wait on that, further to Danai's point, I mean that's one of the reasons why I have a standing promise to anybody who comes on and Brick Talk and just ask what them really want. If anytime anybody come on and say what them really want or what them really think, like anytime you have a real conversation, like it's that joy for me to have a real conversation with somebody else about the thing. Uh, and it's the hardest thing. I was to this day I'm still surprised at how little it happens. Meaning there are times when I wanted it. I'd want, I wish somebody could have asked what's really happening here and or how to make $1 million or whatever, right? And have a real conversation. And so you said, I think I learned a thing or two over the years. I say, you know what, let me be the person, let me have those real conversations and let me offer it to the public. You can just ask, and if I can, I will say it, I will tell you, I will say how I feel, I'll tell what I think. And people said I want it, but I realize that we don't really want it. We don't really want it. Because
Yeah,
I still maintain that
we want
anybody who ever,
confirmation.
yeah, every single
We
week,
want bias, we
anybody
want
who
bias
comes on,
confirmation. We want narrative confirmation. I want the thing that I think to be what Randy says. And you see often how hard it gets when we get this when disagreement happens across those lines. I come on and say something like Transformation will be 10 at the end of the year. Remember last year? How much of that we heard? And then
mm,
when we say, we don't really think so, get clammy, I get defensive versus let's have a real conversation on why you think that's going to happen. What's
yeah,
going to happen there? Yeah? It's I just want to I really want to say that and I want Randy to say, yeah, and then I say, yeah, man, I really think, man, Transformation to the
and,
moon and we'll start a conversation there and then we both cross our fingers and
and hope.
read our Bibles.
Yeah, but no, but that's ignoring. I don't know. I encourage people. Once Brick Talk is still on, and you come on and you ask, and you're having a real conversation about any stock, any situation, any company, you can have a real get to the profit conversation. Not advice, obviously, but you don't need to get somebody telling you to buy or sell. That's not as valuable, actually, as somebody helping you to understand that situation better because you can always make your own buy or sell decision. And that's what most of the questions are about. But like I said, it's a great question. I saw from Andy B, and I see he's on now. Andy B, what's up?
What's up, Andy B?
Hi, good night. How are you guys?
Good night, boss.
I,
We're good, man.
yeah, man, we're good.
Yes, yes. Yeah, so
Oh,
thanks for pointing out my story. My question. I guess this goes back to the conversation that we had a few weeks back when it came out to Qantas. And my like with a lot of things, what's the objective when you approach this investment? You know, is it something to make a quick flip on, or are you looking for it to get particular gains from? So like I told you the last time, my objective is really to look for dividend seekers, for dividend players. Those dividend player TGH would appeal to me in that regard. But my question was really because I'm not as familiar with TGH, intentionally so, because I realize there's a lot of hype around it, and I'm very conscious when I see hype around things. So I just wanted to know from your end, is the TJ story different in terms of the conversation among the retail versus the business side, where I see that the financials, it is improving, there's a lot of increased profitability. Is there a disconnect, a huge disconnect there, and what is happening on the retail side?
Is there a disconnect between what's happening with the business, what's happening on the retail side? When you say retail, what you mean?
I mean, the average, the market, or the retail market impression of
Trans Jamaica?
of of Trans Jamaica.
So I'll tell you, the retail Trans Jamaica is the people's king when it comes to the
Yeah.
stock market.
Yeah,
They
as
love
you
it.
said, there's a lot of hype, and in fact, people, I would tell people deny that there's hype around Transamerica. This and people who are hyped about Transamerica would deny that there's a hype around Transamerica, just
Yeah,
to
they're the
feel,
first to deny
just
it.
to make it feel
Yeah.
better, just to make it feel more palatable as an investment. It is the company right now. It's the one everybody wants to talk about as great and all of that. It's
Hmm.
loved.
Like
Okay,
there is no yes, in terms of retail love, Trans Jamaica is king.
I
Like
see.
earlier when we were talking about earlier when I was mentioning uh, Carreras
Yes,
and the dividend. Carreras is, I saw that was a second comment of yours where you said, Carreras is the dividend king of Jamaica. In truly the dividend king of
Mm-hmm.
Jamaica, the Jamaican market.
yes,
There's no going around it, right?
yeah.
But Trans Jamaica has more dividend PR than Carreras does. You ask anybody and them cousin what the good parts of Trans
Mm,
Jamaica are, and they're gonna tell you is the dividends. Even though Carreras' dividends are better, right?
Mm-hmm.
But that's kind of what Dana and I were referencing a little earlier, and I was saying that when people say dividends, they don't really mean dividends.
they mean
It
capital gains.
they do, but they don't. But you don't ever say it. It's like I don't know. It's like
Yes, he shall not
I
be
don't
It's
know.
like
named.
the elephant in the room. You see it, but you don't
Yes.
see it.
Yeah.
Mm,
Thank you. I was gonna use a much worse analogy, so thank you for that. Yeah. Nobody, like everybody knows, but nobody says it, right? So if you want to talk
mm,
about how much your money has gone up in China, Jamaica, how excited you are about the amount of money you've made, and you never even expect it, you have to say, "I love it for the dividends,"
Mm-hmm.
mm,
and you can
mm.
tell that's not why they love it for
Yes,
two
yeah,
reasons.
yeah.
One is what Danai mentioned, like somebody will say it and then you point out to them that you haven't made that much in dividends from it. So why would you love it for dividends if you haven't made that much from it? And two, eh, and I do this a lot. I'll ask, just asking questions around it, and you realize they have no idea like what their yield is. They have, well,
Yes, 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 yes,
no
yes.
idea what the
And I
dividend
remember
yield
the
is.
line.
Hmm.
Sorry, I just want to say I remember the line of questioning you took me on in understanding my um
Investment
how
thesis
Qantas
around
would fit.
Qantas.
Yes,
Yeah.
and I think that that's one of the things, and it goes back to having a very frank and honest conversation with people, and people being willing to be honest with themselves about what they want, because that can be very difficult for people
Yes.
to acknowledge that
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
you need to make a quick flip. And
Yeah.
I think that awareness of self is very important to say, yeah, I in this to make a quick flip. Yeah, the dividends is nice, but I in it to double my
It's,
money.
it's
Or
like it's something that it's not even a quick flip, It's hey, I'm looking for like all of them have made consistent. All of you have made consistent price, consistent capital gains from this. Over a good amount of time, they made a lot of money. Again, it moved from 1 to 7 in less than 5 years.
yeah,
But when you ask what's good for, like, you literally see somebody that had it at $1 something, and then hey, what exactly is good? You check how much money they made on dividends, how much money they cap gains. Of course, cap gains are way more, and they tell you how much they love it, and they're not selling it. And but then there's a clear, I'm not buying anymore because I know I'm not buying that stuff. Why?
Sure.
And it's
Okay.
even to the point where a lot of people are expecting to go up, but are refusing to buy it. So they
Yes.
want
Yeah.
to go up, but then everybody, you know I'm not buying it here. I know you're not buying it here. Let's both cheer it on and hope it goes up without any of our input, and then we say congrats, we all bought it, but none of us bought it.
Interesting. So I have a, I guess a hypothesis then would be, what would be investors' reaction if the share price falls? How are they then? How would they then? How do you expect them to position themselves around that?
So we saw that. That's what we were talking about happening 4 or 5 weeks ago. So for
Mm,
context, April 7th, it was also trading at 693. It was very close. I think it had at the time it had also hit $7 just a few days before, which was an all-time high, right? And then
mm-hmm,
by April 7th, it was 693. And then over the next few days, by April 10th, it was down to six. It was trading as low as six. And by April 13th, it broke the six and was trading, it traded as low as 581, right?
mm-hmm.
The things
I
that
see.
we were hearing, I'll speak anecdotally because obviously it's not like I'm surveying everybody, but anecdotally, and people that
Mm-hmm.
talk to me about people that ask or the questions they ask is what's happening with Transjamaica? It falling, I keep falling, and it's panic.
But
And
I guess
that's
it's you see who is naked when the water goes out. Like
true. But
it's all of a sudden it's a pan.
the funny thing is the water hasn't really even gone out. Right? The water hasn't really gone out. If at $6, let's say at $6 in the middle of April, this is a stock that, as Danai was saying, you go back 2 years and the thing is up hundreds of percent. So if it goes up to $6 in February, which it does, and
Mm-hmm.
then at the end of in the middle of April, in the middle of February, it goes up to $6, and in the middle of April, it goes back down to $6. Why are you panicking? Because you were excited as hell when it was going up to $6 in February,
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
right? You were really excited when it was going up to $6 at the end of January. And
Yeah.
4 months later, 3.5 months, well, 4 months later, in April, you're looking on it being $6 as the sky's falling because of the real issue. You don't really have a real basis on which you've bought the thing. You're excited about the gains from it. And if it's one person in the world will not tell you not to be excited about that, is me. You make some money, it's perfectly fine to be excited. But
Mm-hmm.
when you bought it, you lied to yourself about why you're buying it. When you saw the gains, you're excited. Maybe even bought more in the middle of it, and you lie to yourself about
Mm-hmm.
why you're buying it then. And like I said, in conversations, people will say, oh, it's the dividends. But the dividends something that you're very, very excited. Um, but the second it looks like it's just going down in price, suddenly you're panicking. And the going down in price is literally what was the all-time high 4 months ago. Just 4 months ago, the
Mm-hmm.
all-time high is what it's just descended from a new all-time high, 7 down to 6, which was the all-time high 4 months ago. And oh my God, the sky is falling again because you weren't really honest with yourself about what the reasons were when you're buying it. That's the real problem. That's for me. Half speak for Danai here also, but that for me is why the conversations about it become so difficult. Because I can tell you, I know for a fact, having had conversations with Danai over the years, and what having a growth group is that we try to be very plain, very honest about what's happening and why, and some of the
Mm-hmm.
conversations are very difficult to have. So it's just a long-winded intro to start answering your question, Andy B.
No
So when you
problem.
say what's happening with Trans Jamaica and the view of it in terms of I want to use your exact words when you're
I guess
saying the
the retail's
yes,
opinion.
the retail's opinion of it versus the business story. And there's a bit of a thing in there. I know that you are, I'd say, maybe more institutional in the way that you approach it, right? So the business is great. Now, my own little bias, but it's the reality, is about what sets the share prices, and it's not always the business. But I'm not going to knock that now. So the business for Trans Jamaica is great. It's great. It's at its best ever. The new leg is paying off. So this quarter that they reported is their latest quarter. It's the first quarter post Melissa,
With
but
a
it's
new
also
leg. Yes.
the first full quarter of the new leg.
New leg.
And revenue is up 25%. Profits are up 45.9%. That's
So
straight
there's a
new leg.
that's a straight flow through from the top line right to the bottom line.
Exactly. Like I said, I love having a real conversation about this, right? A lot of the expenses and so on around new leg were incurred, have already been incurred, have already been booked. It all happened already, right? Not that there aren't still operational expenses, maintenance, blah blah blah, but the heavy lifting has already been done. Any hits to the books has already been taken. People got very, very used to the new leg also because it was free and open for a very long time. They weren't charging for it, and they started charging for it. So it's the first quarter where you have a investing public, you have a not investing public, you have a driving public that is now familiar with it, used to it. You're not, as we know, nobody goes any other way once you take the highway. I'm not going to the south coast. I'm not driving along the highway, right? I'm not going north coast. I'm not taking the north south either. So the business is well accepted, heavily used, and the players that really drive the business, the retail and meaning retail business, and the institutional businesses, the trucking, the haulage stuff, they love it. So the business is at its strongest ever. I would say it's at its healthiest ever also, because it has been making heavy payments to its debt since listing and now. So it's continued to it's continued to pay down its debt. It has some stuff listed in Singapore. It's continued to pay that down, right? A bit of a boon for it. To bring this to like retail, regular investor ears, remember this is the same Trans Jamaica I was talking about, the government needing to pay them for the time that they left the toll open post Melissa. And they haven't stopped. That conversation is still happening, by the way. And I assure you, they're still gonna go for that money. Right?
So that's another windfall that can happen, that can
And
flow through, that
that's
can
raw cash.
ultimately be dividend. And that's dividends. That's straight dividends.
Well, we would hope it's dividends, but it makes sense for it to be dividend because it's not operational, right? The operations have continued. If you get that money, that's a windfall. You could do a special dividend with it if you wanted, right? And maybe
or they
PR,
could reduce the debt.
Or they could reduce the debt. Yeah, true. But I don't know, but I suspect that for PR and also because the shareholders involved, it may behoove them
it's
to.
more palatable to get a large payment from the government and redistribute it to the people.
True. And I'd also touch the PR point. You are asking the government to compensate you for you being open during a national disaster, and after the first set of results after that, you're reporting record profit. Is probably best you pay that. If you push the government to pay you and you collect, it's probably best to pay that money out to your shareholders, right? Because also Trans Jamaica is the
is it the largest held, widely held?
I want to say it's the widest held, but I'm 90% sure on that. I'm not 100%, but 95% sure on that. It's the widest held security on the market, right? The most shareholders. No. So if you pay out a special dividend, that's a good chunk of the public that feels it and feels good about Trans Jamaica. Oh yeah, they really like that, and they stress the government with the Melissa thing, but I'm not really mad because some of that came to me in my pocket, right? So in terms of the health of the business, the view of the business, it at its best days ever, and only getting better, right? No, that brings us into the light territory. For all those things that we just told you, I could say all of those things and sell you on it being a great investment, and it's a great investment. If I could tell you all of those things in January, or in December last year, let's say in January, middle of January, and the price was 515, 520. I could tell you all of those things and it would be true. And a little after that, the share price would have gone all the way up to 7. That, that's wonderful. That's an almost 50% rise on your money. If you wait until now, again, you're close to the 50% mark in a matter of months. So it is a great investment. But I would have supported it with a bit of a lie. Here's where the lie comes in. Put in simple terms, retail investors, people like you, well, I'm not assuming Pocket and the B, but people like Dana and I cannot set Transjamaica's share price very much, right? The average value of the trades per day in Transjamaica from the start of this year, let me have that right. Yeah, from the start of the year till now is $35 million every day.
Yeah. So that is not the average person, nor the affluent person. That sounds like institutional level liquidity.
Exactly. No, if you follow the market as hard as that, I said, then I laugh it. So if you follow the market as hard as we follow it, you're aware of certain things that can, I don't want to make it sound bad because it's not bad. It's good. More of it should happen on the market. But the institutionals are not often times aggressive. They're not aggressive, right? They won't. I wish they were, but if they have 10 million to buy, they're not going to buy 8 million and then buy the other 2 on the market to support the price. They want the 10 million in a block and let the market sit where it sits. But for Transjamaica, the trading is not. There's no other stock on the market that trades the way Transjamaica trades. Yeah,
in
I'll put
terms
it that
of
way.
volume or in terms of price movement?
In terms of aggression, let me use let's pick a trading day, January 27th. January 27th. So this year's January, we had trades on that day of on January 27th of 13 million shares, right? Overall. 747 trades happened. 13 million shares. Now, at the market opened at 9 a.m. At 9 a.m., post auction at 9 a.m., you had a nice chunk of 700 and odd thousand shares trading. So 4.6 million units traded at that point, and they traded at $6.40 per share, right? Then a little after that, so after the market opens, you have smaller trades happening, and then if you look throughout the day, you'll notice that there would be blocks. Okay, like somebody bought it all the way up to $7 on that day, right? So the trades all the way up to $7. No, again, remember what I just said. Institutionals are greedy. No, they're not greedy. They're
want to do everything all at
complacent.
once.
Yeah, man, they're complacent. If I can buy 1 million units of a security, I can ask the broker to pick up the phone, they arrange something, and we found a seller and we'll get you the million. If I can buy it at 680, 20 minutes later, why would I buy another million at 693? 2 hours after that, why would I buy another 2 million at 7? You get me? So there's no other stock on the market that has that same sort of pattern. And if you it's not like any other stock. Because again, if I want 100 million units, if I want 30 million units, I have my prearranged, maybe it's not in a block trade, but I can talk to my broker or whatever, and it can be done, and I'll get it one time. And whatever the price is that we negotiate is the price that we negotiate. Why would I then buy 30% higher 2 minutes later? The only people who do that are people who are
like a day trader, where like you're going in and out
You'd
of
want to think so,
dividend,
but
jumping to.
again, no,
Oh, them bread
right?
butter. Them
Yeah,
bread butter. Two
I,
sides.
yeah. I'm trying to find
The-
out. You only do that if you're not spending your money.
yeah,
Ah, okay, okay,
You
okay.
get me?
I was going to say the risk is not there in the way it is for a day trader.
Ah,
So
okay,
that's
okay,
why they
okay,
can do that because
Yes,
they don't have that time. The kind of risk there is not what it actually. They don't have the same risk as me. If I were to go and do that, it'd be a very different scenario.
exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And
Okay.
how do we know that? Because everybody that we talk to who is retail, when it comes to Trans Jamaica, is very scared when the price is dropping, everybody wants to go to 10, but nobody is willing to buy it at 10. But there are large trades that happen. Like it's going to hit 10 one day, maybe not this year, but whenever it hits 10, it's gonna hit
Mm-hmm.
10. And if it trades in the way it's trading now, what's probably gonna happen is that it'll probably hit 10 at 9:30 in the morning. And then later 1 million units, and then later that day there might be another 2 million that trade for 10:20. And then you might have another 3
Mm.
million later in the day for 10:60. Then later, the only way you do that again is if you are not spending your money. And I'm gonna put a little extra on it. And if you are earning off the trading, right? Now, I'm not saying
Mm.
that's what's
I see.
happening, but if
No,
if my
I get what you're
compensation in any
saying.
way, shape, or form is linked to the value of the trade, then it benefits me for the trade to happen at higher and higher prices.
Mm.
You
So
get
I
me?
guess yes,
No,
I get what you're
I'll
saying.
go one step further. And of course, if I'm selling my shares, I want the best price I can get for it.
Mm-hmm.
And if you are buying if your money, not you, if your money is buying my shares, I want the best price I can get for it. So of course I'll sell you 1 million units at 5. And next month, of course I'll sell you 1 million units at 7. Right? And in the
Mm-hmm.
middle of all of this, there is still a retail because it is still the most widely held security on the market. So there's still a retail who tells himself the lie when it's at 5 about how good it is. They are oblivious to what's happening in my office somewhere, blah, blah, where I'm making this move, right? And
Mm-hmm.
then a month later, when I'm making the move again at 7, you're like, oh, of course, I bought it at 5, I sold it at 750, 50% up. I could tell because of the new leg and blah, blah, but it had nothing to do with that. What's really driving that is that I get a percentage, or maybe I have some units I want to sell. I'm guaranteed that I can sell you X amount of units next month. And I'm guaranteeing that you will buy those units because for whatever reason, I can guarantee that you buy those units. And so, of
Mm-hmm.
course, I'll sell you some at 5 now. And of course, I will buy it back 2 weeks from now at even 6. Because best believe next month I'm going to sell it at 8. And so
Mm.
you have a one-sided situation where the people the people who may be able to be making these decisions are on one side, and the people whose money it is are on the other side, but they aren't present in the conversation, right? You're not in the office where it's happening. It might be your money, but you're not there when the decisions are being made about what's happening with your money. And
Mm.
so I am able, if I'm in that situation, I'm able to guarantee that, yeah, of course I'll buy it also. I'll buy it from you at 6. And if it dropped to 597, oh, we'll buy a lot of 597. Why? Because we're gonna sell it back at 7 in 2 weeks with John Doe's money. Um, and so in that sort of a
Mm.
situation, you have the retail who is incidental to the whole thing. They're just by the wayside there, but they're also gonna benefit, and they're benefiting. And so they love the thing, but they don't know why they love the thing. And of course, if you understand what I just explained, you understand it's a wonderful situation to be in. You can get wonderful profits out of it. The biggest fear then is, when does it stop? Because it can't continue forever, can it?
No, it can't. It
So
can't. And I think, I mean, there's a lot to say, to unpack there, and it presents an interesting dynamic, particularly, as you said, for a retail investor who who is at the whims of the large movements of institutional players, and it
But
is
those whims have been working out wonderfully for the retail investors and the institutionals this whole time because there's profit being made. The danger
but
is that you don't know that that's what's happening. You are sure that it's because of the new leg. Why
but that sounds you're like you're justifying the price based on you're picking how do I say this? You're looking at all the nice things and justifying to say that is why the price has gone up. You're not
and now you
looking at
understand the retail.
and you're not looking at the negatives to say with
You,
all
you
of
don't
this
even
back
know.
and forth.
You don't even
Well, you
know. You
don't
don't you
know.
don't even know. Most people
You
don't know.
don't know.
Most people and the conversation I saw then I was saying the conversation doesn't really happen because maybe some people in the space might know, but they never ever have those real conversations. What they'll say instead is, well, you hear that I say, which is that it's good, it give you something nice, sound great, and yeah, going up, right? And if you go down, boy, the market,
Yeah, it's like when it goes up, good me, but when it goes down, it's the market. So it's just like it's never accountability is one of those things that and objectives like when you're acquiring Trans Jamaica shares, are you what's your analysis? What's the hard work you put in? Because it seems to me, just as an observer, to say people not approaching it as not having that hard upfront conversation to say what am I trying to get out of it? Am
Mhm.
I in this for the dividends or am I in it to say when it hit this price I am out? So
Yeah. So a lot of people do say that one. They say when it hit this out. A lot of people say when it hit five, they're gonna be out. It hit five, they're in. It got five, they say maybe it can go six, and it goes to six. And again, why Transjamaica is unique is that it's not a bad company. It is strong. It is if you go on a PE ratio basis, it's undervalued still, even now. It it
hmm,
is still undervalued. For me, however, I'm just aware, and I bought Trans Jamaica. I think I own Trans Jamaica right now. Too. I buy it and sell it relatively often. Um,
hmm.
I'm just aware of there's some giants dancing, and I can't hear the music, and I'm aware that I can't hear the music. And that's like the only advantage I have, that I'm aware that I can't hear the music, because if the music stops for the giants, the rest of everybody else who is, oh, I love trying to make up for the dividend. If the
Hmm.
Giants don't bite up from 7 to 8, it's never gonna go to 8.
So that actually segues into a very key point that just came up as essential as we talk about the Giants. And I'd frame my question to you as this. At what point would institutional players who are dictating the market movements say, let's not buy this anymore?
And that question is why I don't have massive amounts of money in Trans Jamaica,
Mhm.
because I don't know.
I can't hear music.
Yeah,
I
they
know
can
they're
hear the music.
dancing.
Yeah,
They're playing the music.
Yeah, because I mean, we've seen large players jump in and out, and I mean, I've said this before of how I admire PB Scott, and I did see Muslim had a big position in it, and then is not in it anymore. And I said
hey,
that's
bam,
very interesting because that is that's not baby money. That is
billions.
yeah, that is money that I can spend in my lifetime. So I guess this goes back to one of the things we're observing what institutional players are doing because they are the ones that move the price.
True,
There
but
are other things no
again,
one's do.
nobody's really even having a conversation. There are people listening to this and think I'm crazy or whatever, or it will go in one ear or the other. And there are people who listen to this who might think they know or may even know what I'm talking about. but it's not. It's just not being said. And again, you forget about if Trans Jamaica go to 8 next week Friday. You forget that I said this, which it
Yeah,
may.
but
I hope it does, but I just don't know what happens if the music stops.
well,
And it's not. By
that's
the
what
way,
you
I,
always
in
have to ensure what foundation you have. And I think this is where the fundamentals, people have to do their own hard work about it. To say, at this point, can you handle if the music just goes quiet? Can you handle that?
I don't think
And
most people can.
from this conversation, I don't think I guess based on the jumping in and jumping out because people are looking for that favorable price volatility, it sounds to me that persons they're trying to game the market, but not recognizing that you can lose your investment. I'm saying this very broadly, but lose your investment very easily.
Maybe. You see, again,
Well,
as I
I
said,
say easily, but I mean
Trans Jamaica is a
easily in the sense.
weird case because the underlying thing, the security itself, is strong. The business is good. It is profitable. It pays dividends. It is a strong business. It's just it was also strong in 2021 when the
Mhm.
giant wasn't doing this, and so the price stagnated at $1 and some change for 2 years, 3 years, and until the
Yeah.
giant suddenly started to do it, that's when it suddenly became great. So I am of the strong belief that if the giant stops doing this, it would probably go. If the giant stops doing this, let's say the giant, and I don't think it's happened, but let's say the giant was truly hungry and truly aggressive,
Hmm.
they could stop doing what they're doing. It would the price would plummet maybe down to 4. I think the price would probably plummet down to 4 or even lower. Retail is not going to hold it up, and if it were to sink quickly, problems. I don't know, but
Problems
and
for
I
who?
problems meaning that the share price would not rise again. If the giant doesn't buy heavily, the share price would not rise. If it's just the retail, if it's just the strength of the business would continue to be as strong as it is, It would continue to grow from strength
Hmm.
to strength. The dividends would probably be great, but the share price just would not go to 10 or 15 or whatever. The share price would just stay where it is and stagnate or fall. And I know this for a fact because we had it for 2.5 years. 2.5 years of
Hmm.
stagnation where it traded below IPO price.
Yeah. Mm. So let me pose a confrontational question to you. I'm probably not posing it, is it? But how would the market handle it staying where it is for the rest of the year? So say it stay at $7 for the rest of the year.
It would be a good year. This will be better performance than last year if it stays where it is right now. For the point to point, year to year, year over year.
How would the retail view it?
That is the thing there.
And that is it. Because say for example, institutional capital,
Mhm.
say we've achieved our targets for the year. And I guess just understanding their thinking to then inform what the market would do to say, okay, pension fund trying to receive return 10% this year on the equity side. So they achieve that. They don't actively need to be tapping into the market. With that thinking, if retail is going to be quiet or not as comfortable with the price, I'm thinking out as I'm saying this, but it really just sounds that There's too much, and it's difficult for me because that's just not how I look at it. But you're looking at the market to justify your actions rather than looking at the
Mm-hmm.
underlying security. And you have to use the market as a buying or selling signal, not necessarily. If you believe, like for me, and let me just part just say this. For me, if they're undervalued, if I'm gonna achieve my 7.5 return target based on the dividends that I expect them to produce, I would keep buying. But then, what's the average retailer trying to get out of it? Because my objective is dividend. Not everybody's objective is that.
I'd say very few people's objective is dividends, actually, which is weird because most people, if you ask them, are gonna say dividends,
The
but in
dividends.
in actions, most people's objective is not dividends. You can they show that it's not dividends.
Hmm.
So
Yeah, I guess observe. I just probably end on this to say it'd be important to understand or for persons to think about what institutional investors' objectives are, because that in turn should inform, or I believe it would inform, the behavior that they should exhibit. But I can be wrong in that, and I like the fact that we have a difficult conversation because I am now out of my comfort zone of saying I'm a buy and hold. This is not. This is you're going in and out of the market because you're trying to enter and exit.
but even I haven't been having like the heaviest conversation. What institutions are doing is not aware. It's not a worry to you. I don't even know if it's really the institutionals or just the institutional. They're just one. Um, but it's not like I don't. They're not trying to do flips, in my view. The
Yeah.
flips
I
that they're
don't think
doing,
they are. I don't
nobody
think they
else
are.
can do. Right? They have a gilded position that they're fine. Um, so
Yeah,
so
I'm of that opinion as well because they too are trying to generate returns via income. So, and if it's undervalued, I think their position is that this is going to
well,
go up.
if I
That's
manage
fine.
your pension fund and
Hmm.
my fees are a percentage of the the work I do for you, the moves I make on your pension fund, maybe I have a flat fee, and maybe even a percentage of the gain on your pension fund. And I own 100 million Transamerica shares. I could sell your pension fund 5 million of those shares at $5 this month. Bear in mind, let's say I also control your pension fund. So I'm deciding that your pension fund is buying a million shares at five, and I'm
Hmm.
thinking I can justify it on paper. I can justify it completely. The business is strong, it's undervalued, and we expect that you might be up to 20% by June, right? And so I sell
Hmm.
you a million.
And the
I sell you
dividend is within target.
exactly. It's within target.
Hmm.
That's
Hmm.
also extremely true because the company is strong, operations are strong, so dividend yield is following on. So I sell the pension fund that my pension arm controls a million at five, and then maybe next month, middle of next month, I buy it back at 550. You made 10% of gain in no time at all. Wow, wonderful. Of course, I took a fee when you bought the million
Hmm.
from me. Yeah, I took a fee there, and when I bought back from you, I also took a fee there because I'm controlling the fund. And no worries, because a month and a half later, you're buying back from me another 1.5 million units at 620.
Yeah.
No, no, you see why you don't have to worry in that sort of situation if you are the party that's able to do that, because you it would appear that you have not, I won't say control, but it would appear that
Mm-hmm.
you have some amount of say on both sides of the trade, right? Um,
Okay, okay.
and
That's
you'd have also generated a lot of money
mm-hmm.
from
Mm.
a party that you see there's no real risk.
No, I understand what you mean. I understand what you mean. I'm a bit conflicted because one of my back I worked in the pension space. I've done like for my whole working career. So I'm very familiar with what you're talking about where
Okay,
investment managers take different positions. I'm
okay.
very conflicted because then there's a level of, and this is probably out, this is not necessarily outside the scope, but it's important for people to understand what the expenses are like for pension funds and how individuals keep their trustees accountable when it comes on to that. Because if a manager is trying to move around things for the sake of getting fees, um, that lends itself to a review. But at the same time, we wo- I worked in the Caribbean. It is a small space. Everybody knows everybody, and all of that is still the nature of the environment that we work in.
Well, so you've worked in the Caribbean in the pension space, so you know everybody knows everybody. And you know, it's also, again, going back to what Dan I was saying earlier, just like with the why something bad is happening. If if I say, oh, because the market is down, I can also trust that if you go next door to my neighbor, then I can say, oh yeah, it's because the market is down. So you're gonna hear two different experts saying the same thing. It don't matter that both experts are wrong because you don't know that, right? The pension
Hmm.
space, especially in Jamaica, is even nicer. I'm saying quote unquote nicer because who the hell knows what's happening with their pension? No one.
Yeah, there's a, and that goes back. Well, we've opened up a can of worms mentally for me
Mentally, for
because
you, for me, we're very much against the line that I'm up against the line now. So, well, all I say is that who the hell knows what's happening with their pension, right? Nobody does. No one does. You know when you retire or you know when you change job and you have to move the pension over, you don't know how much is happening in there. People don't know what's happening with
but
their
you
own
should be getting
investments.
an annual statement every year.
Yeah, man, it have a number upon it.
But I guess
Yeah, you get it. It's just there's a part there's a
it's
little
just a number.
there's a little person due diligence that just doesn't happen.
Exactly. If you get your pension
Yeah,
statement and it tells you that your fund lost 18% this year, what's the next step?
that's very true.
Yeah,
That's
the
very
fund.
true.
Okay, so the fund lost 18%. Guess what happened to your next paycheck? P site is still going there. And
Correct.
end of the month, it's still going there. And even before the tax come out, it's still going there.
Yeah,
Right, and the
yeah.
month after that is still going there. And if that year they
No,
lose 20%, what's gonna happen? Unless the boss them change the pension, and the boss them, oftentimes the
All
boss
right.
also concentrating on the work. The boss sometimes the boss don't know. Many times the boss don't know either. The
and
boss
I
trusts
guess
the managers to,
The rate that you come
yeah, to
and
manage it.
talk. Yeah, yeah.
And I
Yeah.
think this is part of why I appreciated joining Brick Talk because you need to have hard conversations, and oftentimes we need to have hard conversations with ourselves, but have hard conversations with people who we employ. Because so I worked the early part of my most of my career in Barbados, and when Barbados did their debt restructuring, I moved from a 50-50 split from bonds equity to all equity. But I am sitting down in the mid. I can make that decision because I see the writing on the wall. Something is about to happen. Now, when
Oh,
the funds got a hit,
you're talking about
yeah.
your
So this is
personal funds here or the funds that you would be managing?
No, this is my personal pension,
Okay, okay,
right? So,
okay.
which goes back to the attention of detail you need to have with different things. So you need to. I remember I talked to a lady in HR to say, listen, um, I make sure they know my name because every year I request in my statement. Every year I saying what is going on. If I see something, I have the option to change it. Now I had the foresight to then switch, but not everybody is sitting down acutely looking at that, nor can everybody switch from one fund to another. No, I think, like with a lot of things, we have to hold certain people in account. And often, in the case of that pension, there's often an employee nominated trustee that people should know. So this is communication now.
Should,
To say,
should, should is a great word.
should. And that is it.
I'll cut you and tell
That
you a
is
funny story. Years ago, many, many years ago, I was working somewhere and that when you have the fund, just like you said, there's a nominee staff. The staff votes for a
stuff,
nominee,
not, yeah. Yeah.
yeah, to represent them on it. So I said I want to do it, and I don't want to give details. So I tried to give. I say I just
Yeah,
did what I
no,
want to
no,
do.
no, no. I understand.
Yeah. So everybody's like they're thinking, well, you're crazy. No, we're gonna make the accounts manager
Yes.
the
Somebody
person.
is a lot closer to it,
So I
far
said,
removed.
but the accounts manager is the second highest manager in the company. They're not going to be representing everybody else's interests. If a decision comes down to the benefit of the company or the benefit of the employees, I suspect that they will go with the company.
Hmm.
No, 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 no. We're going with the accounts manager, and I think that was the last time they spoke about the page. I wish I could tell a better version of that story, but I can't on here.
No,
Um,
no, no. It's
but the
something I
point I'm
can
trying to make
relate
from it
to.
there is that
Hmm.
most people defer to the finance expert, even if the finance expert isn't in their area of expertise,
Yeah.
and they just assume that they're looking out for them, even when there's evidence to the contrary. Not that that person was acting to the contrary, but
Hmm.
later on things happened. Not anything bad or anything like that. It was all above board. But it kind of came out to the same sort of situation. A decision was made, and if you go left, it benefits the company more. If you go right, it benefits the employees more. Of course, it didn't
Yeah.
go right. It went left. But also, very few people know. Again, I'm just trying to have a real conversation. Most people look on them paycheck and then look on the tax part and go, government and say, oh, well, this is wicked. And look on the pension part and go, they look on it along with the tax. And they just look at the part that they get, and that's where you look at. Nobody really thinks
Move
about that.
on.
Very few
Move
people look
on.
at the very few people look at the pension, um, their actual pension performance. Even fewer
Yeah.
understand it. And
Hmm.
Jamaica
Hmm.
is severely underpensioned.
Absolutely, absolutely. And as some, there's a lot of conversations need to be had because accountability is one thing. Two, I think that is a key part because when people think of pension in um, pension is one of those things that is not a today problem, it's a tomorrow problem.
Correct.
And because there's no immediate urgency of it, it's not until somebody is either have to take early retirement or is 2 years out from retirement to say, all right, how much I'm going to need to make at retirement, and then they make a decision. So persons need to be informed, and I guess this is where Danai would come in because this is where you need institutional and you need advice along the journey, and
Yeah,
this is
I need
part of a bigger
advice.
conversation.
Yeah, you advice
Um,
that's looking at you as the
an
important.
individual,
Yeah, the
Hmm.
and
important.
as an
Exactly.
individual.
And
Yeah,
that exact conversation is what I have a lot, you know. Okay, what we're talking about, and I can tell you most people aren't there. It's all right. I
We're
want.
fighting so many other battles day to day. I mean,
exactly.
another hard battle,
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And
another hard battle.
you don't want to really hear say, oh wait there, I thought I might have put more money than I've been thinking that. You know, I need to put more money down, or even just
Hmm.
think about it on a structural level versus give me a
Yeah,
pension so I can fling the money there and then I close my eyes and it will work out. Mm-mm.
yeah, because even one of the things, even having that conversation is that, like you mentioned, Randy, if people looking at how much tax they're paying, you can reduce how much tax you're paying by putting more money towards a pension.
Yeah, but that's less
But
money to my pocket. I'm not really looking at how much tax I pay. I'm
but
looking
that
at how
is
much
it,
money I'm not getting. My paycheck come in two
and
forms: the part that I don't
that
get
is
and
it,
the
Don't
part that
get.
I get. That's
and
how people
that
looking at
is,
it.
and it is a hard conversation because I remember too, like I was putting voluntary contributions into my pension, and boy, it is hard because when you decide, because I work with persons who are at retirement, that they work the whole life, and like what they're getting is chicken feed. Like you can't, how you supposed to live on this? But then when I made the decision to put up, I was gonna put up 5% more on my gross salary. I remember that first paycheck after I got that took out that 5%. It hurt. It hurt, and I'm not no big top. I'm not making no millions of dollars. And I trying to budget out and say, all right, this is what I'm gonna have to give up because of this. And there's a whole lifestyle discussion that I then had to take on because one, I said to myself, I see the lifestyle I don't want. I'm willing to make the hard decision to pivot differently. That requires me putting up something incrementally. And I remember when I got an increase, I said, all right, let me put up something increase rather than get it in my pocket. But that type of discipline is very hard when you're navigating life. I mean, I see you post, you talk about look how much gas price has gone up by. Right, you still have to move around. And if you don't move around, you don't get paid. So these are big discussions um, on accountability, on advice. Um, but we've gotten pretty far from where we started the conversation. But I think
True.
it's still important to understand how institutional, what are the incentives of the different parties, not just institutions, but their managers and brokers, because their incentives are tied to movement. And
I
uh, I'm just going to quote your last one of your last tweets where it's just like you either complain or get paid. Buy some of
either
the shares
complain
in
or
the
profit.
brokers.
Say that again.
Buy some shares in the
Oh, buy some
brokers.
shares in the brokers. The ones that are listed, yeah. You can't go
Hmm.
wrong there. Often, one of the things I joke about when I do grow is that I point out to people that you're better off with your money in NCB shares or Scotia shares than in an NCB bank account or a Scotia bank account. The dividend yield
Hmm.
alone is better than whatever you get for having it in the account. So yeah, if you can't beat them, join them. I agree with you. Yeah, again, it's not even knocking any of the parties, because that's why I
No,
said
no, no.
the Jamaica conversation is such a funny one because the all of the parties involved, or I would say 90, if I'm being technical, I would say 90, are benefiting, but
Hmm.
the retail isn't really seeming to be aware of why they're benefiting. And to me, that's just a generally dangerous thing where if I can't see, it's like driving blind. It's not that the road might be smooth and perfectly fine, but if the fog is all around and I can't see, I just think it's more dangerous. I might stop actually. I might stop or pull over or park or come out and run away
Hmm.
if I can't see, even though the road is perfectly clear versus any other situation. And that's just a danger point for me that I can't tell. But on its own, strong there's no question. The company has always
Yeah.
been a strong from it listed. The listing of it helped to make it even stronger because
Hmm.
how it was set up. It helped to make it really stronger. The Singapore move helped to make it really strong. But this is not a conversation about the strength of the company. I should say, I personally don't believe that the movement in the share price is more than, let's say, maybe 10% reflective of the strength of the company. It's not that the company isn't strong, it is. It's just that I just think if certain parties stop doing what they're doing, that price is going to flutter and die. And I know it because it did it for 2.5 years.
And my simple rebuttal to that is, um, you have to know what your objectives are in going into it. Because you mentioned driving blind. They could be driving blind, but they could be covering their own eyes driving. So take your hand off of your eye,
Yes,
wash your
sir.
face, and do the hard work. And I think uh, this just shows there's continues to be even more hard work. The hard work doesn't stop. It's like you just have to lean in and ask. Don't be afraid to be foolish to ask different questions. Because understanding people jumping in and out of the market, I understand that because like I've played around with like a little bit of crypto to see that. But it's like that level of volatility, particularly with how I position myself, where I am using my date. I'm trying to save every time I get a paycheck. If I can't, if something affects that, I know that my long term goal around me trying to get multiple streams of income will be affected. Um, but don't be afraid to do the hard work and ask for help. Join Money JA, buy Money JA.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I agree. Use up the opportunity.
Hmm.
Yeah, come to grow. Learn how to invest. If you don't, or if you know how to invest, trust me, there are things you learn at grow that it shifts how you view the entire market. But yeah, I'm glad you asked Andy B, and I'm happy that you also joined as always to
Mhm.
put some more meat around your question and to structure it. And as I say, I'm always excited anytime anybody come on and ask a real question, we have a real conversation. So thank you
Yes,
very
no
much.
problem. Thank
Yeah,
you.
man. And I see we have Tav who's been waiting patiently. Tav, you hearing us?
Sort of.
Tav jump back off, or the space is screen because on one device is showing me him as speak, on the other device I'm not seeing him at all. Tav, if you're seeing us and you're hearing us, you need to unmute.
Yeah, I've seen him speak up.
May I lock up one?
Okay. All right.
Can you hear
All
me?
right. Yeah, man,
Yeah,
we're
man.
hearing you. We're hearing you.
Yeah, man.
Um,
Well, when I did talk about chance Jamaica still, me did um, look for other appointee, because I don't know, I hear mention say the same people them where say them want it, and then when the price fall now them go in a panic mode, but yet still a dividend them want. So to me that was a big major point, because I mean if you invest the dividend and the price go down, it should have been an easy decision. Yeah. And even if the yield no better, you just secure your dividend from early, But I guess as you always say, Randy, people are always do what them say them are gonna do. Why
mhm.
young men up on the road with kids, they can't be living here nothing.
Yeah, no problem. We're hearing you, but if you want to lock up and come, I'll give you some time.
No man, I come out already, that's why I made the thing. But me go on listen.
I see Akeem
Yeah, me jump back.
Akeem Hanniford say on YouTube, I made 2 trades on Trans Jamaica and made 4 times the dividend made so far for the units I'd have available. I just say master finding entries where persons would want to sell lower to take profits. Uh Akeem, I can't necessarily wrong you. As I said, I have bought and sold Trans Jamaica a lot. You guys, you listen to this every week. You hear how many times you hear me say, "Oh, I don't own any," or "I own some now." So, like, today I do own some, um, and I'm in profit. I didn't know it was this high over 7. So maybe next week I don't own any either.
But me know the price go for when me get one trade alert.
Yeah,
That me know
MFJ,
say,
yeah, trade alert. But
yeah, man.
I
Yeah, man.
surprised.
Yeah, I mean, I went today to sell something and said, wait, the transfer maker give me some money. So
Yeah, man.
let's go.
But me get my $7.10 before most people still.
Oh, well, yeah. There's also Tab. How you doing,
You
Mr.
know,
Man?
easy that one run. Hey, that I want run the sample, you know. Me sell up on the USD side, man.
Yeah.
So yeah.
That's
So
yeah.
I that me don't get my $7.10 before. And get the funny thing, me could have even go back and buy it at a lower price again and still, you know,
A lot of
in
that
a
is done
profit.
also. A lot of that is done also. Yeah. And Trans
You know?
Jamaica is. I mean, you can't knock the thing. It's such a good secure set of securities.
Yep.
Yeah, because
Yep.
you have the
Strong
dual nature of the
fundamentals.
thing. Yeah, man.
And oh, you tell a man say him not right. You can't tell a man say you can't tell a man say that's how you go.
True.
You can't tell a man say that's how you go. Oh, you gotta explain. Because the truth is that, you know, you always say it in around it don't matter. It literally don't matter. Because the whole point of doing it have to make money. So if whatever reason me think I move the price or not, you know, the price still a move and me still a get my dividend. So what really a cause it no matter until it actually matter, you know? So
No problem.
exactly, but you can't tell them nothing. It's just a little bit too late.
The thing is, you're two different people with two different reasons why, and nobody can agree why that.
Exactly.
We can agree on the
But they're not here. They're not here. That's why when the conversation get, you know, deep down now, them just quiet. Cause like it really no matter to them.
True.
Because
But
they might get the returns.
you see, to me, I can't knock the return. I would never want to knock the returns. I benefited
why
from the
not?
returns though. It's just if you're having if you want to do it deliberately, if you want to do it deliberately, if you want to be able to see it and go into it ahead of time, get your profit and get out deliberately, then the conversation is very important. If you're just
Yep.
doing cash pot, if you just want to try a thing, it sound good, then yeah, you don't need to have the conversation.
And the funny thing, you know, I run a test in April, you know, oh finish.
No, I was going to say that, and both are valid. I just said that at least on BrickTalk, you're talking to me. Not obviously not if you're talking to Danai in a proper session, he isn't going to approach that. If you're talking to me on BrickTalk, it is perfectly fine. In fact, I would encourage you to tell me if it don't matter and you're more in man, try to thing, because the conversation that we'll have is different, and I think it's still a useful conversation. You know, if
You just not like Jamaica, man.
who me?
Yeah.
Oh, I get it. Yeah.
But I think I'm sure that's where it goes. I'm sure it'd be very easy to say that for some people.
Exactly. Because yeah, bad mouth the thing and look how much money we have make a fight.
Yeah, and I have
It's
a
interesting,
brethren.
like how much we have to disclaim that we like it, we're not saying that we buy it. So,
Exactly, and who alone own it. I may probably own it more time than you. I even get back more return from it than you.
Yeah.
In terms of percentage gain. I mean, I just know on money, but you know, based upon how you guys trade it, where me think gonna trade it away there, you know, the return only get far exceed what other people that get from it just by holding it. You know?
You know what I used to measure a lot? I measure in dividends. So
Yeah. When them tell them
how
yield.
much dividends this?
Yeah.
No,
Yeah,
no. I make again. How much dividends that?
yeah.
Oh,
It's
that
10
question.
dividends.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's 5
Yeah,
dividends.
so
Sometimes it's
if I
also
see dividend come out at XYZ and
yeah.
what the last dividend on this?
So the current dividend I think is, I want to say, it's like
No,
1.7%
it's
yield.
yield. Yeah,
No, sorry, apologies. 2.3% yield.
So
2.32%
if me
yield.
make more than 2.3% on any play on transfer maker, then I've made more than dividend on that one play.
Exactly.
So buy it and sell it. Well, that's a 2 dividend we just get outside.
Exactly. No, after tax, the dividend yield is like 1.97. Call it 2%. Yeah, so they call it 2% after that. So if you make 4% cap gains, they double it, which goes back to what Akeem was saying. So, but again, even that kind of conversation, most people don't listen to. I talk to them, you say them eyes glass over. If you're talking to them really about it, you can tell they're not really thinking about it. And I think that's funny because if you care about the dividends, I'm showing you how to get 6 Trans Jamaica dividends in a year instead of 2.
Exactly. And funny thing is that, Randy, I go get pushback on it, Yeah, I go get pushback. You know why? Them I go just say, yo, me no business about that, me just want the dividend. Literally, and that you go get. And that you go get. So while them I enjoy the cap gain, yeah, tell me about that. Me no business about buying and selling. Me no business about flipping or me no business about I just say dividend more.
Until we're bragging and we're talking about the thing there. How, you know, me they buy that thing down the cap gains. It tell me how good the cap gains was. And then
Exactly.
you can tell me the cap gains you made quicker than you can tell me the dividends you made from.
The dividend, where you get from dividend, yeah.
Very few people. Sorry, very few people.
What if I told that most people that I've met or speak with about it, they don't know the dividends. They don't know how much they've made from it in dividends. I think they no, but the money just going into an account or something. It's not something they're checking and caring about. They're not doing anything with the dividends money either. The dividend is just a conversation they have around the cap gains.
Them don't even know.
Yeah.
All the reason why they need my money is there. Because once you go on the Trans Jamaica page, it have the dividend thing on the main page, and it show you which of your portfolio have that stock in it and the amount of the percentage you get from it.
Yep.
You know?
Yep.
At a glance, just by looking at the main page, you literally know without even. I when you don't own the stock, but you own it during the time of when the dividend did pay, you get the little thing from it. So that's our nice little feature. So if you now watch it, you still can know.
Yep. And funny enough,
I want to love with it most, before you even go further, Randy. One of the things I'm rate with it, what I love is that, remember, I know all of the stock them JCSD do the processing for,
That's true.
So while you will go on the JCSD portal and I try to find the dividend payment, you're not going to find it for a lot of the stock them. You're not going to find it. Yeah, so that's one of the things why my money better.
Yeah, there's some weird things with JCSD actually. Some very strange things, but yeah, weird things. I tell people, I encourage everybody to set up a JCSD account and check your JCSD statement. If you have a brokerage account, you have a JCSD. You can set up a JCSD account, jcsd.jamstockx.com, and go in and see.
And no matter which brokerage account, which brokerage
no matter which broker. Yeah, every single broker. And if you don't do it, you can use My Money JA Connect, and it automatically pull it, and it allow you to see your entire portfolio, no matter which broker you're with. It allow you to see your entire portfolio, your entire dividends for as long as you've had it, as long as it exists. You could have 20, 30 years ago, it's there. And it's free to do. You can do that thing, and it creates a portfolio MMJ, and you can see everything that you should have gotten or did get or didn't get or whatever. And anything that's it should bring it to your mind so that you can look into it. Because like I said, I've seen some weird things. That saved me already
still. My money just saved me already. With dividend. I wonder how me now get dividend, and I wonder when me check the JCSD portal, me now see it either. I say, but when me check the statement, I realize that I did actually own the shares. And me now get no dividend. And when I really check and deep and link JCSD, because I say, but see me own it, see it in my money, and show me say, you're supposed to get X amount of dividend and whatnot, and me now see it. So I call them I mix up my make instead of me select Scotia Bank, the mandate of Sachi Core Bank, me select. So yeah.
So wait, so all your stuff was being sent to
it never got to nothing. It's like it just a bounce each time. Like because the information is just totally incorrect. So it just never got nowhere. Like it attempt to send, but it just never send. So me link them start out everything and me get back all of the money. But if me never see it on my money, it wouldn't come to me to actually check it. You understand? Because it not the thing because it wasn't paid out. and my money and show me some to get dividend and me not getting a dividend. So if it wasn't for that, I probably wouldn't miss it. You know?
Yeah.
So it's a good little thing to have that, Reggie. Nice little tool.
Very, very good tool. Right? I allow you to say exactly what you should be. You can cross check it, and it has helped people, a lot of people. Also with the bonds. Even today, I saw a customer. Nonetheless, yeah, big up mymoneyja.com. Get an account if you don't have an account already. You're missing out, and you're going to miss out even more with what's coming.
And I know. But Randy, one point.
Yeah, man.
You know, say in April, right? Yeah, you always remember one time you did that try show me a point where, yeah, basically the gist of it is that always trying to get the bottom, more than likely I gonna lose out. You know? So remember remember advanced grow or whatever we have the conversation. Cause me always I try catch the top and always I try catch the bottom.
It's
you know,
advanced
like you
grow,
show me
yeah.
say, yo, yeah man, like you try show me say, Virgin, you are putting too much effort in this thing, you know, need for you to do that, you know? You know, need for you to do that. Funny enough is that April 13 this year, me watch on Jamaica, me see it go down to a price and me say, oh yeah, yes, so me I buy, you know. And I go in a one group and I'm saying that the group say, you know, and now by chance Jamaica now or now wait till it go down further. The reason why I ask that question is that me know how people stay. Them say they want it at one price and when it got a price there, every time the excuse is that it can go lower. Every time them tell themselves they nah buy it now because they go lower. But them no plan to buy it none at all, you know. But then just I tell themselves. So the reason why me bring it up, you know, me they just have a strong feeling by the way it trade to just know say this is the last day you can get this surprise, you know. You get me?
April 13th.
And
This is still Trans Jamaica.
yeah man.
Yeah.
Yeah man. Yeah man.
Wow.
Me literally me say, you know, say me I go set that trap here, I'm going there, me say, and then man I go say, yeah man, we are wait till it can go down more, man. I'm say, okay, cool. You get me? So the point is that if them did actually do what them say them a do, them would have missed out on it just because them have said them, oh, we are wait to get it lower. You know? So the thing is that a lot of time we miss out on profits because you're trying to get it lower, you miss out on profit again by trying to sell it at the highest price. You know? So that to me was a big lesson when me did learn along my journey. You know, major lesson for me because I always want to try to get the price at the lowest and always I try to sell it at the highest. You know,
Yeah.
and I go reach a point where you miss out. So all of who did say them a wait for Trans Jamaica to go lower, them definitely never get free bite, none at all. The train miss them.
Boy, you know, it's funny. Two things. One, I think most people say that stuff, but it's just something to say. It's just
Exactly.
something to say.
I agree.
They don't really
I agree.
something to say.
Them never plan to buy it, none at all. You know?
Exactly.
And then just work with the hype. You know? Oh, if it drop back down to 6, me I buy it, man. But when it reach $5.90, I go back. Yo, you buy it, boy. Look like you can go down some more. You know, so me I wait.
Yeah, but people,
You know?
it's just like supporting a football team, bro. It just assess something. I don't know the field. I don't know the manager. I never see him country. It just
Me can't make the wagon a pass. I'm gonna jump on it, man. You know,
Yeah.
Jamaica wagon.
I'm on the wagon.
Everybody
It's
talk about
just-
it. Yeah, man.
Yeah. Ask me about whether or not I think the right player come back from injury next week, bro. Me just buy the jersey. Me just buy the
Response for that.
jersey.
Exactly. Exactly. Every side I lose, me just know wear the jersey.
Exactly. So, and I put that on me. I put that on us. I put that on me. Like it took me a while to realize that sometimes. Sometimes it took me a long time to realize that, you know, very few people are gonna say, "Me just buy the jersey. Me just like that. Me just step on the wagon." I work up alone. People say that, and they never pretend. No, I've always been an Argentina fan, right? My brother Smithy, whatever say, he's been a Manchester City fan since high school. Yeah, Smithy go high school.
Are you ready? I'm going to go.
Big up Smithy. Big up. So he's
But
a City fan.
we not talk about Arsenal in high school, Smithy.
Me and City is on side by side. But anyway, he says he's been a City fan for years. Anyway, it's like that. It's just anybody can say it because it's just the point. So I think maybe the thing that they trick me, like you're better than I talk about it. We have fun talking about it, but it's still serious. It's still mean. It's still money, right? Most people not do that. Most people them are pretend and they don't know. So, but we're all having the same conversation. So if you,
Exactly.
me, then and 10 other people in the group are talk about something, and we serious, we like what mean what we're saying, right? So, like for me, if I'm wondering, let's say I'm looking at Trans Jamaica, and I'm thinking, should I put some money there, like some real money there? I'm
Yeah.
having a real conversation. When two other people say, yeah, man, I would, but I think you can drop a little more. If I'm thinking those two people know what they're talking about, I'm thinking, okay, well, maybe could drop a little more. Why? Why could it drop more, right? Now, if the people them know and them just really just say something, you see how confusing it can become, because I'm serious, but you're not, and maybe you even thought you were serious until I asked you why. Do you realize, right? I have no idea why. Damn. Usually when I say that, everybody just agrees, right? Because we're actually doing the thing. And it's just, it's not many places you can have that sort of serious conversation, but the places where you do, those people make profit because it becomes serious.
And
And
the truth is that
then you get past the bad sounding thing. You start looking at, you understand that a bad sounding thing oftentimes is a
opportunity.
great advantage. Yeah, man. I won't load them up. I saw somebody looking at ECL today, and the group, the AI analysis on the group, and the AI was right. It was pointing out something that was pointed out as a possibility a year or two ago. I think we're even up to last year. Then I think last year somebody came on BrickTalk and they were asking us about ECL and if it was great or whatever. I'm gonna say that it's the violin playing guy or the violin guy that asked for ECL.
Oh, I think I am that name Kim Lai.
I didn't want to risk the name because the name wasn't coming to
Yeah, that's
it.
true.
That's
That's
true. You know what the points I made then, like the biggest threat to ECL is their debt and the servicing of it and how it all go. And that was long before even Hurricane. And then I think the conversation with him happened after Hurricane maybe. But I look at that now and I'm thinking, yo, they're up against the wall. They have months to go to that big bond payment. How much million US bond payment? But I'm looking at that as a great thing, right? It's a great thing, but I know that I know what I mean. I hope you know what I mean, Tab. But not everybody look at that as a great thing. I think they have about 13 million US as a bond.
Me never look at it. I see
And
that look at that I jump off.
no, well, I think
Just
I can
realize.
see him, but I don't know if him can hear me.
Oh.
No, yeah, he's
I
there
don't see him
because
not at
he
all
had
for the
frozen.
space.
I think him drop off the space, yeah. Then him jump back on. But yeah, it's I don't see him on the space, but he'll jump back on that moment. But on the ECL point, and damn, hit them 52-week low today. The trade as low as 175. Wow. 175. The big deal, I think, though, for them is that they have that bond, and that bond is due, I want to say, March 2027. US 12 million bond. It was issued in 2024, interest rate 8.5. It's listed, the bond is listed on the JC, on the USD bond market of the JC, and is repayable March 8, 2027, right? 12 million US bond. And they, being ECL, have had hit after hit coming from Melissa, right? So granted, it's not like the bonds can't be they can't re-up the bond. It's not like they probably will. I wouldn't be surprised if they do that. I'd expect them to do it, but if they do it, it's gonna be a lot more expensive for them to do, and they have to get the yes on that before you get to this date because you don't want to be in trouble with it, right? And then the debt that they have in that bond is I mean, I think at the time we're having a conversation comparing it to also what they have in terms of, I think, related party debt. I'm going off memory here, but I think it's in terms of related party debt. Yeah, 17 million to Margaritaville Limited, 17 million US to Margarita. They owe a related party, or I should say, right, that's related party. Balances. So 17 mil, I believe is owed by Margaritaville to ECL, which is more than a bond, right? Yeah, they're getting into what could be a very stressful situation, very, very, very stressful situation. But I'm looking at that as a great thing, right? I'm looking at that as something that they can navigate, and if they can navigate it, it's an amazing thing. If they can navigate it, extremely amazing thing if they can navigate it. But if they can't, also, it's not like the business isn't still there and isn't still good. But I think they will find a way to them have the right broker, the right thing going for them. They'll be able to navigate it. But along the way, opportunity comes up. Because look at what I just saw. They trade at the 52-week low today. If they sort this out and there's a clear solution between now and March 2027, how likely is it that it's still going to be at this price or lower? Or how likely? Right, it's probably gonna fly much higher, right? And that's on a 193 close, go down to 175 today. $2-3 trade, $4 trade. If you trade at $2, $3, or $4 at any time over the next year,
money.
Yeah, banking, right? And it's not like it didn't happen. It traded at 350 in October last year, and it's down at 193 today, and it traded as low as 173. That's the kind of conversation that lead to that kind of opportunity and spotting that kind of opportunity. But if we just say, yo, the business is strong or the business is weak, Melissa, Taurus down, so them dead. If you just leave it to that simple, then that's just one step. That's like me telling you, yo, my dream is last night. My dream said my dead granny last night, So the man I play 50 is about the same level of conversation. Like I can't question your dead granny from your dream in the same way I can't question just the feeling about something. But if you can go deeper into the numbers, deeper into the actual company, deeper into the reality of the market too, the uncomfortable parts. Like, it's not whether or not I think ECL is good. Is that I think ECL is gonna hit 250 between now and March. Yeah, that's where the profit is found. And the deeper profit is found is, what if them don't make it? What are the signs if they don't make it? What happens if they don't work out? That's where the great profit is found. But not many people. The thing is, everybody wants what the outcome of predicting that sort of thing would be, but not many people want the journey to get there. Right? If then I tell the wrong person, say, yo, ECL might be it, because the person tell him, say, they want 150% by the end of 2027. That they might question him now when it drop all the way down now. When if you are serious about it, this is the buying time, all right. He might be linking and say, oh, you want to the ECL than I am. Then I say, yo, didn't. So I saw what's happening. Bye. Shout out to my name, Gary Peart on the Mayberry. I hear it all the time in my head now. Bye. All the time. Yeah, that's a real conversation.
You want certain games, just don't want certain realities around us. You don't want to do what it takes, and it's not meant to be comfortable. Sometimes it's Gary Peart when looking at NCB falling and saying I'm buying more, right?
Yeah.
NCB's down. How much can you come to them and say how much can you come on that same forum? And the question is, NCB's down. Are you guys still buying?
Yeah. I mean, you remember the level of volumes that was trading when it was falling down to $20? In August last year, $20 and $30. August last year when it's going $20 and $30. Millions of units trading every day. Look at that volume. And now, when it's back at $51, I mean, 20 to 50.
Well, may have one share in Randy.
NCB.
Remember one share, you know, as a lesson. Yeah, work with the flip, boy, you know, pre the bigger picture, you know.
Yeah.
And then
And
one share that left as a reminder now, and that one share up 60%.
I know the pain, my brother. I know the pain maybe too well.
Listen.
Too well. But like then I say it's not going to be comfortable. People want to think that I buy it at $1 and then it must smoothly go upwards to $4, right? And if you go up to $4 for the year, that means by the end of the first quarter, it must be at 2. By the end of the second quarter, it must be at 3. By the end of the third quarter, it can be a little bit between 3 and 4. And by the end of the fourth quarter, that's not how it go. Oftentimes, it's that you buy it at $1 and it dropped to 80, it dropped to 70. By the end of the second quarter, it is 60. But if all the other fundamental reasons around what you expect for the business and the share price and the response to the business is sound, you might be November. Last year, talk about it all the time. This is a terrible example, but it's accurate, so I'll use it. Kintyre was Kintyre for the whole of 2025. December 1 is when Kintyre suddenly started to shoot. And between December 1 and December 31st last year is where Kintyre became the second largest gainer on the market. That's no, again, don't lose the don't lose the point because I mentioned Kintyre. Right? Don't lose the point because I mentioned Kintyre. The point is that it's not always gonna be like the journey of 100 or 200% is not a smooth thing. Oftentimes it's nothing at all, and then suddenly it almost seems overnight. But
you always keep on a question the move.
Exactly.
Even when you decide for going out and you buy it, every day you say to yourself, I think that's a really right thing me I do, you know, man.
Yeah.
You know, every time you buy a little more, you say, John, I just put myself deep in that something.
Exactly.
Right now, that happened to me right now. That happened to me right now. Every time I just buy this thing and they go down a little bit and I just buy it and I say, John, you know? I've ordered on the queue and I get notification said it filled me. I said, boy, you know, but to be honest with you, I get so comfortable doing it now, Randy. Where it literally, you know, we just go in at the queue and just buy it at any price. So while me have orders in at the queue, we just literally go up on the market and look and say, Rocket, so myself for this, I just use the money me have buy it.
I know what you mean.
So
I know what you mean.
Me just trust you, man. Me get really comfortable doing it. God no, it's like it come like nothing now. Cause it's like me convince myself say the right thing me I do. So me kind of eliminate a lot of the thing there, but there's a part of it where me not think about where that come to me, and we probably have to just start about it tomorrow at chill session.
Yeah, that might be a good
now that something changed. No, yeah, man, because something actually changed. To be honest with you, the thing where me did account as a reason as to why I change the thing, we never had consider it, say, oh, this thing I go look without this thing. So while me I say, yo, we need to get rid of this in art. So Jamaica boilers, right? If them get rid of the US operation,
is that what you've been buying?
Yeah,
is that what you've been buying?
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Hey, Ghana, I'm tell you, say the man money up now in a brother. Richard keep it secret. Wow.
No, man. But the thing is that from day one, me I say, yo, you know, it clear cut, but we see it happen so much time in the market. The thing where clear cut, we make fear, make we no want to do it. You get me? So in my head, it's so clear cut. Me keep on I think about it and me I say, yo, this is something me not even need to get all of the ducks them in the row for. You get me? I say to all clear cut. And I say to myself, so when them sell off the US operation, which me think them they are gonna do, one way or the other, find some way to twist it or whatever it is.
Which they have.
Exactly. But this may I tell you the thinking before me start buy.
Okay,
you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. So me I say to myself, say, when them do that now, you know, them are gonna just get rid of the problem. And you know the money from this now, them are gonna probably use it, clear some of them debt and whatnot, and then the Jamaica operation are gonna go and bounce along with the part of the US operation with them say them are gonna keep, you know. But now when I look on it is that even though this thing was losing money, it was also a big part of the revenues for the company, you know. So
Was it?
well, based upon where it said where the report say, well, the report are the next problem to you, because now you don't even know even what to believe or what to believe.
Yeah.
So that's a good question.
Iffy one. That's a
That's a
iffy
good
one.
question.
But I mean,
Yeah, that's a good
regardless,
question.
it was a part of
Yeah,
the
exactly,
operations. It did have something. I mean, they
exactly.
said again also because we don't have any clarity on how exactly the whole fraud
And the
maybe
extent of the
happened.
exactly,
Yeah, I mean,
exactly.
40 bill, but
You know,
they said that there was overstating of the biological assets, which if there's
Mhm.
overstating, without going into much detail, I understand your fear and the risk around the fear. But I know you said that to say something, because you said that was your initial.
Yeah. So, but the point is that we never think about what it would look like without that thing. And also, the other flip side to it is that me not think all of that are gonna matter soon. You get me? I say, or even in the long run. To me, it just clear to me, so me I make the right decision. You know, because we see this happen countless amount of time in the market. And life overall. And at the first we that go through one pandemic, and at the first we are go through a storm. Humans just make for survive and we make for crawl out of problems and situation. You know, all of what happen now is stock market, and at first it a tank. You know, and somehow it just always work out. So to me, the way how things stay in Jamaica and how Jamaican people love chicken and how chicken are selling, as much as CB want go on and say them a do all of them something and what them want to do. Them literally, me not see them can be able to take the market from Jamaica boilers anytime soon. Like literally no time soon.
Unless the
So
IPO.
exactly. Even when them IPO, you know, it would have better my money over there. So still, because you know, I capital gains, you look find out the performance of the company. But
No.
the truth
We'll
is that
consider prospectus first. We'll consider prospectus first.
yeah, because but the man lick it down big time still. Man lick
What's
it
that?
down big time. Them go on Kalila the other day and ask about it. They ask a question about it, and the man I said, "Why is a family-owned company and them plan to keep it that way? So them not have no plans at all of IPOing." So right away me get vexed. Come I say, "Oh, nobody come on Kalila for." You get me? I say, you know, you come in a space where people are investing in a stock market and I invest. You know, people are look
Yeah, the
equity in a things
family
and yeah. Exactly, I can tell them about on the family business. Them don't come for the people I'm sure, brother. You see me? As you don't come for the people I'm sure, brother. Yeah, come on. Everybody asks him about IPO and the man account talk, oh, it's a family business. Yeah, we don't even want your pork for buy, brother. Keep your pork. You see me? I can tell about pork business and
Question for
factory.
you.
Yeah, man, the
So I
Kevin
have a
Garnett
question
meme.
for you.
Yeah, man.
Okay. I thought the same thing as well, listening to that interview. But I was wondering if there are other capital, like other instruments they'd be using to raise capital. You know, they may be
Yeah, and
using
that meeting too.
IPOs or preference shares. I'm wondering if that is something else maybe
yeah,
that
but
they
Yeah.
use to to
but
get
the
to
thing
raise
is
that
really
billion.
that's I don't think go, I don't know that Kalila show is necessarily it's very retail
Exactly.
focused.
Exactly.
Yeah,
And
understood.
Exactly.
if you're not putting in front of retail, if it's something like that, then you very easily get that money without going to the place that is
Exactly.
retail focused,
To
right?
me, that is
Mm.
not even a
You
retail
don't
offer. You know,
you
a
don't have a
target
privilege
audience.
in that sense.
Exactly.
Yeah, very true.
Right now, then go up on the private market, them raise that without problem.
Is CB
Yeah.
chicken? Who wouldn't give them the money? But both of you have two good points there. Though I think uh, to what you mentioned there, Andy B. I didn't want to say it publicly, but I'll say it. He's on the board of Qantas, no?
Yes. Yes.
And Qantas's business
Yes. Yes.
is
Yes. 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 Yes.
right. So if you think of what a
There's
business
definitely
actually
something there.
is,
There's
right? A business
definitely
is just the
something there.
flow of value, And Qantas as a business sits within the flow of value within a company with
Qantas is a
receivables,
capital
finance, and all of that.
provider.
Yeah. So
Capital
technically,
provider.
yeah, I suspect that maybe you can get a piece of the flow of value in the business via a
Yes.
position in Qantas.
Yes.
I suspect. I don't know for sure, but I suspect.
I'm not suspecting. I know because that is the nature of things. That is the
Okay.
nature of things. It
I
is.
yeah. So I like you say, but it's because you name Andy B Capital on Twitter, but I name Randy Rowe. I will say I suspect.
Dog, I must not receive luck, Dog, I
At
must
all,
not receive.
at all. But I
No,
do.
no, no, no.
I
No.
am hoping, however, that it pushes him and the family to list because I mean I remember reading. I want to say 19 or 18 years ago. I remember reading an article where where the late great Desmond Blades was being interviewed by Gleaner and go into the details, but he said in it that he was asked the same question about the Mussons holdings and listing, and he said, no, I don't believe so. And his then successor is like, and my his chosen successor, a young gentleman by the name of PB Scott, is also very much against listing on the stock market.
Yeah,
And here
but
we
they
are in
play the crown
2026.
jewel.
Look at me now.
Well, I mean, granted, that company is not listed.
It's
But
not listed.
a whole lot of its universe is listed, and
Yes, I guess my not necessarily counter, but my addition to that is that there are a lot of other counterparties there that may want the liquidity or may want the access point. Particularly, I think of AS Bridens or CPJ. So I think that is one element of it. But
yeah,
one
the
thing that
market is a
stands
tool.
out to me, it is a tool. It's a tool for raising money to make money. Because
And
even if you look at like Apple's model is private markets. Private
well,
markets.
it is and the flow of value, but they have found the, I don't know what you call it, the force that listing the right elements within the chain brings. Yeah, the
Hmm.
market is a tool. I'm happy that to me, where we are in 2026 reads as who was being quoted 19 years ago is learned more. Not that again. Remember, the core company is not listed, but a lot of the pieces around it are listed. We see you mentioned AS Bride, we mentioned CPJ, we see AS, we see Atlantic Hardware. Then
Hmm.
Geddes is not listed, but then you see Atlantic Hardware acquiring an arm of Geddes, right? I wasn't
Hmm.
able to touch the Geddes business before, but no, with Atlantic buying the rights to that piece of the business, I'm able to touch a piece of that business, right? So, it's not. I'm not saying that it's a complete 180, and I don't think it should be. I think it's. I think it is what it is. I think it's a great thing. I think it's that you use the market in the right way, and you allow everybody to get a piece of it. So,
Yeah,
unlike
Virgin
Tav,
yeah.
20%. Man, and two terrible one.
yeah, man, I agree with you, man.
20% Virgin.
Listen. Come take them. We have some money for you. Listen,
Hmm. But
yeah,
20% alone, man, I need to give brother. RPL style.
yeah, yeah.
but if you look at so for example, you look at General Accident. General Accident has been a core part of Muslim for forever,
Correct.
and it even though it was listed, it didn't perform well for a long time
The
initially.
business or the
Because I
share
remember
price.
I was at UE. Well, no, in terms of the share price, because there was an article a few years back where I think it was PB that mentioned that the stock market isn't doing what they would have expected. I'm paraphrasing, I can be wrong. I
Hmm.
will acknowledge
Hmm.
if I'm wrong there. But essentially, the most value that accrues to them is continuing to be the dominant shareholder of it, keeping most of it private. Even the transaction that General Accident did with Beacon, that was done through Muslim because that wasn't done. wasn't that general accident went out and researched. So there's a lot. It's ultimately like and reinforcing what you're saying is that the market is a mechanism for capital to flow where the capital allocators want it to go.
Correct. Or it's
Market
bet.
market cap is a real thing to still, bro.
Yeah, yeah. No,
So
no. Yeah,
while we are talking
true.
about the
In some.
capital side,
So no, he said you're saying the same thing as he is, Tav, because in the same way, like remember, once a company is listed, the shares is it's not a level one asset, and the finance is not a level one asset. So you might have a
Hmm.
company and it's strong and you think it's good, but the bank won't lend you, or the bank will lend you at 12 or 15. But you
Hmm.
list the
Hmm.
same company and the same bank will now lend you at 6 or 5.
There's a lot of
Or you don't even need to
pull on
borrow from
people.
them. You can raise it on the
People
market
offering
itself.
you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah. They offer you. Yeah.
they offer you facilities.
different
Because
banks start call you.
Correct.
because
And
who would not lend Muslim money or any of its subsidiaries money?
I don't know. I don't know. Not in Jamaica. I can tell you that.
And I would expand that to the region because um yeah, there's just a heavy presence, and it's just like once you want to see those initials TBS, you're you say, all right, how can we support you?
it hasn't gone wrong yet. And you're to your point. Yeah, I mean, I'm going back. This 10 years ago, 2015, $1.60. 228 in 2011. So yeah, for a long time the price meandered and stagnated, but I mean the same shares now, 627. And as you said, they just bought Beacon, or I should say, being technical, they are just about to officially, they being GNAC, just about to buy Beacon.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then what will that look like a year or two from now? I mean, I'm
Correct.
biased. I am a GNAC
Correct.
shareholder today, so I am a little biased in that, but and it hit
Mhm.
$8 today.
Mm.
It closed at 673, but it hit $8 today.
So yeah.
Somebody said to me earlier, and I said, "Wow." Then I look at this queue.
bro, bro.
Ah,
Quick time.
well, one to watch. Uh, uh,
Absolutely.
wow, wow. I still wondering how they're going to pay. Well, I know there must be a mix of equity involved in how they're going to pay for
Yeah,
Beacon, but
the family, the family that own Beacon are gonna become shareholders in Gina. So it's
so I've
being
heard.
done through some
Are set to a
yeah,
conversation earlier
set
this
to.
week about that. Uh, that it was said. Well, they put out that they expect them to, and that and I was saying the observer that they are set to. And I know GNAC did ask for permission to issue, I want to say about 20% of their shares, however they may wish.
Hmm.
And I'm assuming this is part of how they'll wish it.
Hmm.
And then there are other dots around the fact that a good subsection of the entire Apple ecosystem, well, I call it Apple ecosystem, but it's really the Mosins ecosystem, has not, the listed part of it has just haven't really put out their numbers. They haven't put out their financials, and they're delayed. And they're not the type of companies that you're used to seeing delay.
Correct,
Um,
correct. I did
s-
see that as well because
s-
I'm keeping my eye out what's happening with the value fund to see what's happening there.
CPFV, yes, yeah, which they also own and control, and I suspect it means that they're, within the wider group, they're rearranging capital in order to handle. They're really sharp financial engineers. That much is clear.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they'll benefit from it. Hopefully, and hopefully all us GNAC shareholders will benefit from it. own the valuable parts. There's a time when we used to joke and say that PB Scott only lists things if they're not good. Which again, if you have a group, you have 6 things in the group and 2 of them not so good, 1 of them really bad, and 3 of them great. Why not list the weak things? You put them out there and they get the strength to become stronger, and then the whole thing rises, right? Everybody's stronger.
Mm-hmm.
My view anyway. All right. I don't want us to go forever. We've been going a little over 2 hours so far, so I'll wrap in the next 15. If anybody has any other questions they want to ask, anybody want to come on and anybody want to ask about any stock or anything, to see a chance to ask about it, send a speaker request and we'll do it. And while we have people here, Tav and Andy B, I don't know if either you had anything else you wanted to ask about or talk about. Ask myself or Danai.
What do you think about Qantas as the IPO still being open?
Oh, still being open?
Yeah. Do you think it's just based on the large sums involved? Or
too much money? Yeah.
I think there's yes. They will be fine either way. Yeah, that's one thing.
Well, I'm not even thinking about nothing of that.
Same.
Because a lot of them people love just open it up for the lifetime or what them say them are going to open it up for. We see that a couple times already. It's kind of hard to say.
I would be very surprised if there was a struggle to raise the money.
Exactly. Yeah. So you feel too.
I don't think there's any struggle to raise the money. I think they're trying to get I think they're waiting on something. And I think they're trying to get certain ducks in a row. It's neither here nor there for them to close it. That's my view.
Yeah, kill it myself.
Yeah, I'll add to that my I'm actually this close to actually applying. Yeah, I'm actually this close.
I've been there. I think I'm pretty decided not, but I've been there.
What's the hesitation? What was your hesitation? You say you've been there.
Those things. I think I'm more certainty around other things. I think it can go either way. I don't necessarily. It can do well, meaning it can list and have a nice run between now and the end of the year. We could also just chill. It could not have that run. It could wait until somebody's ready to make a move there, and I just don't want to put myself in that position. I think I have better conviction elsewhere.
Same.
Put it well.
If I do go there, if I did go there, I'd be very fine. It would be an idea that I'm very fine with. Okay, looking for the movement, but if it doesn't happen now, then I'm fine waiting and putting something else probably behind it. And that's it.
Sorry, Tav, I muted you by the way, just because your background was a little loud. But if you're actually saying something to us, you can unmute.
Yeah, man. Me did I say to Dana, I say one of the good thing about the market is that you have other opportunity and you will get more information when it lists. So you have more to work with because the queue itself can give you a lot more information. So even if you're not buying at the IPO, you still have a chance to buy again if you choose it if you're going.
Oh, what if you don't?
What if you don't?
With an offer like that and the fear in the IPO, I feel like depending on the amount of units you want, I feel like you're fear to get some units out there.
It's not a retail offer. This could help you and you can't get none.
But the few retail are probably going to try things. Them probably go off itself.
You think the people who are part of the flipper mafia, part of the flipper mafia are
no,
you just mentioned IPO fear,
Say that again?
Yeah, but you have a couple where I go buy, but them not say them I go buy, cause them no want it no work and them not say. And then next thing they hear to them, you have that silent buying crew, you know. Cause them probably see it and them hear a couple talks around it and they say, "Chum, let me try a thing." You put couple 100,000 in it or 50,000 or whatever it is. And then when it lists now, them get scared because them see the allocation and get afraid now. You know, when it lists now, them willing to sell fast. Them want to be the first one out.
Suppose it
You
lists
have that
and
crew, them man.
immediately jump to 25.
Why? So you going on?
No. I mean, you see, cause you're only thinking of just that moment. I'm going past that moment. Unless I immediately jump to 25, that same crew you're talking about, they're not gonna sell.
Yeah, them are going to wait. See
What I'm waiting on. The next
You
day,
can't go more, man. Same like
right,
how them always say it, I go
more.
drop a little bit more.
Suppose it does go more. Next day, it jumped to 30, 32.
But I think we could probably look at a comparison like Epic, because we're just looking at some analysis on it, and like Epic is a comparator. And if it hits Epic circle levels, you could ask yourself, is it worth that valuation?
I don't
But
know. I think maybe I'm just too close
I
to the
don't think
Epic
it's.
story. I don't think it is, because Epley, in my view, is a lot more the whole ecosystem around Epley.
Absolutely.
Yeah, right. While but it's not like Qantas doesn't have that ecosystem around it. National is no. I mean, if you think I want CB to list, if I could sacrifice a goat and it mean that them list National at sacrifice too. National is no slouch, right? The Hendrix Empire is no slouch either, right? But Epley is a little different. Like the Epley story is, I don't know.
No.
Like,
They're different. They're different things, because this is really a fund, like an investment company. Apple is, they're a manager. They also own most of Value
exactly.
Fund. They lend, so there's a lot more arms to the business than it would. But as I said, really using that as a comparator, close comparator, is either that or you compare it to Signals, and it's like
It's Signals. It's Signals.
it is a better
It's
it
a
is a better
Signals.
quality. It is a better to me. It is better quality than Signals, but not. But the growth potential is probably not there as it would be for Apple.
I don't know. So I said that. I mean, you remember we said that was what, 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago, and so I kind of dodged your question earlier when you asked it, but like I've been thinking about it more, and it took me a while sometimes to distill these things down to the simplest form. But to me, the only real threat to Qantas's share price is if they do an APO. As long as they don't do an APO, as long as they don't do a dilutive secondary offer, I can't see anything else knocking them. I don't. So, but again, my perspective, the talk about the dividends, I do expect them to pay dividends. I do expect them to pay dividends with some amount of frequency, but I wouldn't be, or I wouldn't be like completely shattered if they don't. I wouldn't be shattered. I wouldn't even really be surprised if they don't. I would be surprised if they pay dividends to the level that they have spoken about it, the 90 and the 100. They're not doing that. No, but you said that yeah, that's what you said before you get in. After you get in is a different talk. I don't expect them to do that. I do expect them to pay some dividends though, but I'm not looking at them and caring about the dividend perspective. That's not why I'm looking on it. I think the business itself, as I said, it sits within the flow of a company's value flow. And if you can get into certain spaces with a company like that, you're set. And I think they're already in there, right? I know they're already in there. We see they're already in there, right? We see who's on the board. You see the people who own it. So I think they're fine. Like what people, I saw comments about bad debt from who? CB? national. I think national is gonna pay. Government is gonna pay. They might take long, but they're gonna pay. Um, eh, yeah, I think the company is great, and I hope that they do some exciting things. Exciting here being like, I don't know if I said this on the episode or I said it privately, but there could be a whole, there could be a, they could raise, and I think I said it privately actually in the grow in advanced grow, not on this. But like they could go the bond way instead of anything else. They could put together instruments. They could remain exactly as they are, and all of their raising via listed bond instruments. They can de-risk via listed bond instruments and then stay exactly how they are. As long as they don't do an APO, I can't really see a downside to owning it. But
Yeah,
obviously, if
they
they
can
don't,
be very innovative financially to
yes,
preserve the equity the holders. Um, yeah, I don't think they're going to necessarily change the business model.
no, why?
Um,
It's a wonderful model, and also
it's
Qantas
a
that is
wonderful
listing
model.
is not like Qantas itself. It's just the wallet. They're listing the wallet.
Piece of the pie. Yeah, well, it's the what is, yeah. That's the money.
Yeah, yeah. Just the
Hmm.
money, and they've inured themselves from any share price risk. All those things are red flags to me. However, as long as they don't do the APO,
Hmm.
the Qantas that's being listed in my view is buying. But if so, I think really my only fear around buying it is that the industry view of APOs publicly is not what
Yeah, the
mine
public
is.
has been scared because every time I see you mention API, I see you cringe a bit because just of the effect of it.
Yeah, that will that
Um,
will that will mash it. That can ruin your pocket. The
and
APOs are the reason why
fortunately,
Cygnus' share price isn't 2 or 3 times what it is now.
yes, I figured as much. I figured as much. But there was one last question because I know you want to wrap up. The government had mentioned wanting pension funds to invest in a lot more. I'm paraphrasing here, riskier stuff. This
It's
to
in the
me
wrong
for
people when you say that, but I know what you mean. As in loosening the constraints of where they could invest and how
yeah,
people
loosening
can
the
invest in
constraint.
different areas. Yeah,
And
yeah.
I say riskier not being a bad thing because I think pension
Mm-hmm.
funds should take on risk because the real risk is that the money is worth less today, less tomorrow than it could be if you had taken on the right risk. Um, but how do you see the market opening up to pension funds in this sort of way? And I don't mean the market as in the stock market, but I guess the whole economy as a whole.
Um, I think there's a significant amount of money locked up in pensions. I think pensions have benefited from not a lot of light being on them. And I think the country and us investors also on the market would benefit from more light being on them, because a little thing I was saying earlier about, what if your pension fund lost 18% in a year? That's not even like a far-fetched thing. Most people don't know how their pensions are doing, the ones that have pensions, and a lot of
Correct.
pensions are doing pretty terribly. Um,
And
so
if I
I
could just
think that
add on, a lot
more
of people may not
scrutiny.
even be seeing their financials of their pension funds. Because if you're able to see the actual financials, like investment earnings, expenses, you can ask more questions.
True, but also, yeah, true. That's a huge part of the pie that's needed. And most people don't even really understand the financials or think that they don't understand it. But that's a bigger thing. You still have to show it, right? But to answer your first question, going back to answering your first question, I think that most parts of the economy, the country, and the companies that are on the stock market and around the stock market will benefit from a loosening of the regulations. I think there's money locked up in that's part of why America is considered so great. A lot of the buys that were done are pension buys. A lot of the things that can be done are pension buys. I can draw a direct line between loosening up pension restrictions and affordable housing. That's who can a large part of why there isn't affordable housing is that if I invest 30 million into doing an apartment complex Me and Danai come together, 30 million each, 60 million with the apartment complex. We need that money back. If the apartment complex done June, we want the money back July 1, right? And we don't want 60 million back. We want 240 million. And everybody in the value chain is eating as much as they can. No, the pensions have the blessing, they have the time. They can wait 15, 20, 30 years. So they can make nice apartments or nice housing, not just the matchbox. They can make nice apartments and housing at 2-3% margins and wait the 15 years with the mandated small increases in rent and all of that. And 20 years from now, they have vast swathes of real estate that is raking in huge amounts of cash because they were funding mid-level and low-level, not even low-level, mid-level housing. Go ahead, Danai.
I mean, yes, but also think of things that you can build on top of it. Think of there's another security you can lay on top of that. Think of something like Qantas. That's somebody they can sell. They have a different value in where they can sell that kind of thing and spread it across other pension funds, even in other markets. It goes so deep, bro. So it's just money that is patient capital, money that can do something and not really have certain constraints. So it's
true patient capital.
Get the government and the banks along that line, and actually looking into what can happen there is the stock market and I say America stock market and the pensions. So much happens on the back. So much happened for them on the back of that.
Yeah,
that was true. That was their true industrial push.
Yeah, definitely.
Startups. People love the idea of startups. I mean, I run a startup. I remember how hard it was when I was doing the raise, when I was doing my first raise, versus if there are pensions that were actively doing that, actively looking for startups to put money in and being able to work with you, guide you, but not necessarily be over your neck. I've seen on Twitter, big up like Monique.
Monique
with the stuff that she's done and doing, and how she talks about what it's like needing to raise and how difficult it is. Meanwhile, there are pensions that have money coming in every month that them struggling to know what to do with it.
Don't know. And they look at trust me, they look at the constraint sheet. You probably know it. How often they have to look at the constraint sheet and say, all right, this is what we can do. And beyond even those things there, beyond like funding generally, not even those equity investment in the private sector, but debt. That is a very how debt flows in the private sector right now is terrible. Everybody has to end up at a bank loan. The best they can do is get a piece of that loan is some DBJ funding.
Yeah.
Isn't the DBJ guy on the board of Qantas? Actually, I think he's not on the board. Well, he's on the board of something around Qantas. But yeah, that's a dot there. To Danai's point, just to support Danai's point, like look at ECL. Look at not that this is the full thing, but look at the mix of their debt. Right, like so he always end up back at the bank loan, and look at that. Signal had to get them peace. Then they did the bond that maybe helped them with First Global get them peace, Cornerstone get them peace, and VIP Attraction. I think maybe that's internal. Give them peace. Right? Yeah, it kind of a piece up. Not that that's a bad thing, but how much could have come? How much more? Like think of the refinance of this. At the right, pensions can go. Okay, we'll give it 14%. You're going through trouble. We will do 14%, or let's say we don't want to kill the business, so we're willing to take 10%, but we'll take longer terms, and maybe we'll take it all. So you don't even go public with it, right? That's not opportunity. Yeah, man. The loosening of the pension requirements is going to really be a massive thing. If serious, when we get the details of it, I'm not worried about it. It's funny. It reminds me of something. I'm glad I said it near the end because I don't want to go too deep into it. But it's a good ending conversation. I'll ask you. I don't know if you've heard about Alex that night. What do you think about like the talk maybe you don't want to say. What do you think about like the talk of around the whole 1%, 1.8% of the donated money has been spent,
Mm,
and the rest is just
mm,
in a bank account?
mm.
I,
I don't know.
I hesitate to
I,
ask because I know it get political.
it gets very, yeah. And also,
Yeah,
the truth is, there's a wicked intersection between government not doing what I'm supposed to do and people not understanding what government do. We have that problem all the time. So it gets hard to criticize either side because it
it
can
turns
only
into
be
politics.
so wrong. Because you're right. I think there's a lot more they can do, but there's also the part that I don't know, where I don't know. I don't know where. There's too much I don't know to get up and say what should be done.
I'm with you on that
Uh,
part.
But then I 2% from 100%.
Yeah, but
well, yeah,
here
that's,
well,
that's what I say. I think there's a lot they can. I'm sure there's a lot they can do. It's just I don't know how far
Yo,
they should have spent or whatever. I don't know.
that
here's
I
my here's my thing.
170,000 me spent on front end parts last week, you know, brother.
Yeah, but here's my thinking, Tav.
It's a layer
That's
2%.
yeah.
A road there. You
Here's
know?
my
A
thinking. Here's
road.
my thinking. I again outside of the politics of the thing, because I know it's a political football up and down. But two things. One, I'm like, yo, I love that the class of complaints that we have has risen. It's not that the money gone or stolen or missing. No. Is that it's just not spent. There's reasons not spent because we haven't gotten the right approvals. I mean, you're doing the right thing. Okay,
Yeah.
cool. So on that, I'm happy. I'm happy. The second thing, and this is business side, I'm looking at it, I'm thinking, yo, they have a lot of cash. They just they have a lot of cash. See, I don't think it's accidental that a lot of it hasn't been spent. I don't think it's dumb that a lot of it hasn't been spent. I don't think I also don't think it's incompetent that a lot of it hasn't been spent. And I also try not to be political with it, but I also don't think it's nefarious. I don't think it's anything bad that hasn't been spent. I think that there is a very clear set of
Like a
plans, like it's a
roadmap.
significant chunk of GDP in raw cash that has been given to the country. Yes, the damage is a huge chunk of GDP, but we don't usually get that much GDP in raw cash. I think it's a hell of a thing. And also that means that not that things are back to normal or anything, but that means that all the recovery that has happened from Melissa till now has happened without that money being spent. So that
And
you have a
and
war
that
chest,
money
right?
can be very quite stimulative
Of
going
course.
forward.
Yeah, you have to you think about it, you have a lot of money. You know, you get the money and you burn a hole in your pocket, but you have to calm down and go, no, where am I
Yeah.
best?
I appreciate that perspective because it does shift that view, but particularly the political view.
Yeah, man. Take the
Because
politics out of it,
if
man.
you if you spend that good chunk of money, inflation is gonna go rampant. Gas price is gonna jump up even more. Food is gonna cost more. Everything is gonna cost more. People expectation of inflation is gonna bounce back to what it was in the 90s, where it was like where all of this money. I'm being extreme here, but intentionally so, where people are gonna be warned to do multiple salary increases every year to keep up with the prices.
And
So
also think of it from the good side. If you get that large whack of cash that you can direct where it goes, the best place to direct it might be the place that allows the longest tail of good effect, right?
yeah,
You can do things that have good effects for the next 15, 20 years. But it requires putting pieces in place, it requires putting things around. And that's without looking at other things like, yo, we have I saw a headline out of the cat bond. They're trying to do another cat bond. Suppose they don't do another cat bond. But we need that coverage.
yeah.
Maybe the government has to do some sort of self-insurance. You don't want to rush and spend it, right? You think about just a change in the shifting face of the world. The gas prices going up, and the government kind of tied because them can't drop the gas tax
No,
easily
because
because
that's
that money
key.
has to be made up somewhere else. What do
I
I
think the thing
spend
that
it?
probably the easiest spending for them would be public infrastructure.
Right. But then how do I? But then you don't want to rush into it. You get me? You don't want to do like a
No, you have to
road
be
patching
thorough
thing.
about it.
Yeah, man.
Oh
You
yeah,
want
yeah,
if
yeah.
I'm gonna spend
It's not an election, fix the road and go.
exactly.
No.
Let me try and actually
You plan something.
fix the country now. Yeah, fix the road in a way where we can do
But then
some
my thing now
major.
is government. I would have to hope that that's what's happening. That's what happens because I don't have much faith there. So
But here,
prove me wrong.
I don't
That's
have much faith there either.
fine.
But I am happy in that if they're incompetent, I think it's very easy to spend, especially donated money. Very easy to spend, and you can say
Yeah,
we're
it's
spending
too
it and
easy.
blah blah blah. Right? The one thing I wouldn't expect for government is that they got a whack of cash and they said, whoa whoa whoa, let's slow down. I'm not used to hearing that.
That is the breath of fresh air, and it seems to me that they're thinking. And I also think about a piece of legislation that was forced through recently. I have a feeling a lot of this is going to coincide with our for the capital,
It
with this
should be the
capital,
Yes,
NRA.
as well as everything else. Yeah,
with
because
Nara and the
you have
NRA.
pensions.
and the pension. Because
Yeah, I don't think
right
that's
now,
accidental.
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
because like
Isn't it wasn't that part of the conversation generally though with it?
Uh, I don't know if you think that if you
At
think
the start,
the
I don't mean the politicizing and the going through and the hiccups
oh
that they've done and had, but I mean the actual that's where isn't that the direction that all this started through. We need this specific thing
what
because public infrastructure, and we have this money to spend in that direction because we need to plan also.
I think so too. Yeah, but then again, you get lost in the political noise. Yeah.
Yeah, well, they very much so politics. You know my
yeah, and
how much I
and
love going in that direction. It's
Yeah.
it's
That's
hard
how
too
to
much
is
because
it.
people are
too much
involved,
about
right?
opinions that, and
No,
it's
it is,
nobody want actually have a good
and
A
feedback
it's
real
conversation.
difficult because
conversation.
people are
Yeah.
involved.
Yeah. Because I'm seeing some
But I
dots,
think
Sorry, no, go ahead. You go
so,
ahead. And
no, I just
actually, I
saying
don't even
that
know if I want to even
it's
say it on here, but
no, I just think there are a lot of it's kind of difficult from a emotional perspective when you think about the people and the
Hmm.
damage that would happen. But like even the guy from CD said, like a lot of damage was done to infrastructure, to livelihoods, and rebuilding. You have to be thoughtful about it. You can't just say, let's just put back what was there. You have to be intentional about every single thing that you do. Because one, you want to be more resilient, you want a better quality of life. Because you want to know that a year, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10, 20 years, it's because of the changes and smart decisions that were made yesterday that the future is better tomorrow.
yep.
And it is hard to do that. It is it is hard, but
And
picky hard.
we have a
Because when the next hurricane come and mash up things again, you're gonna be in the same position. And the Caribbean has to be more resilient. Because like right now I'm based in Barbados and there's a bigger conversation around resilience and being resilient regardless of whatever is happening.
Yeah.
But that's
You know
just
what
my
it
two
is? It's one of
cents.
those things where you don't benefit from it immediately, and it requires you to do the hard looking thing up front. And you
Hmm.
can in politics you can take a lot of hits for doing that, right? But you make a good
Yeah.
point. God forbid another hurricane hits this year. If another hurricane hits this year and there's no cat bond, what's your backup plan? If
Correct.
you spend the money wildly, no, and a hurricane hits this year, what's your backup plan? And if you don't spend the money now and a hurricane hits, I'm not saying that they shouldn't spend the money. That's not what I'm saying at all. But if
No,
you're
yeah,
careful
they
about
should.
how you
Yeah.
spend the money and a hurricane hits this year, after the hurricane hits, we're gonna be very glad that that money is in the bank,
Hmm.
because I don't know that the same people are giving again in the same way. I don't know
Yeah.
that,
And
and
you don't know the environment because last year this
exactly,
time a war wasn't happening. People weren't
exactly.
pulling. So it's like you really have to make smart decisions now
Yeah, man. It's
and hard
very easy to
decisions
be kind
now.
when oil is below $100 a barrel. Exactly.
We are notorious for our poor public infrastructure planning. Like Kingston traffic is a good example of that. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's a good it is a good thing in my mind. If not, no, it's a good thing if whatever build out happens on that side of the country is actually planned. So like the urbanization on that side of the country is actually planned. How
Yo,
we
I
see
think it's
Mm-hmm.
not
the
just
woes
that
that
side
we
of the
have on
country,
this
you know.
side.
I think
Generally,
they're
but the thing is, Kingston care much about me, back, bro. There's a good amount of
we can say it
Kingston
off
that
here. We
is
can say it
about
off here. We'll have chill session tomorrow. I can see some of the things I'm thinking, I've seen, but I think there's an opportunity. I mean, you and I said it before that, as bad as Melissa is, there's opportunities that's going to come out of it. I think we're far enough from it now that it's starting to see what some of the opportunities look like. There's, there's certain works that couldn't be done because, we never have this much in the bank to serve as collateral for blah, blah, blah. But no, we do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and maybe you can't say that, yo, JPS, you're redoing the contract soon, right? You might have to attract a different entity to come and run it, or there's lots of things that I don't know. It's just the one thing that I wouldn't have expected is for politicians to get money and not immediately rush and spend it off. And the fact that that's what has happened tells me that it's not as simple as the news would have us believe. I'm definitely not defending the politicians on this. I was just surprised, and I suspect that there's a lot more happening behind the scenes. Yeah.
And I think we should share
Why
that
me love the
perspective.
positive outlook though?
Yeah. Yeah. And I think we share
Negativity
that
hasn't gotten me
perspective.
very far. Don't be negative, bro.
No, no, no. And I mean, your perspective did change my opinion. And I would say that because I was bombarded by the negativity, but it's like, wait, growing up in the 90s, early 2000s, if people get money, that money gone long time. I think about the light bulb scandal all of a sudden, and it's just like, what is happening? Things just disappear, so?
Bro, from
No,
the
brother,
thing
I
around the
battle
money
never
was,
kill we down
yeah.
here still.
Bro, the thing
Yep,
around
That's
the
yep.
all
money
me know.
was it's in the account and they haven't spent it. I know, say, okay, that's
Them,
something
them,
else
them
is
say
happening.
it in the
Something else is
account
happening.
and it no spend.
No, I assure you that if it was not in the account, you would
different
have heard
car.
about it in the Gleaner, my brother. I assure you. I assure you. Yeah, well, Puss and JLP do have the same look here. They them can't thief like that. It's just the reality of the situation. So I'm not saying it's right or it's all perfect. I'm looking at it and I'm shocked, and I'm seeing a couple of dots with it. The pension conversation, the narrative is very, very politicized. It's hard to even comment on that, but I just know that the pension thing, the tourism thing, and this money not being spent, all three of those at the same time, is not an accidental conversation. I don't think. I think there's something else happening. Um,
Yeah, I echo that because, like, things are lining up almost too perfectly.
yeah, yes.
Almost too perfectly.
There's huge infrastructural works that I know will be happening too. Going right back to the same Epic group, there's huge water works that'll be happening. And yo, to Danai's point, all of the times I've heard through my whole life that, oh boy, urban planning and then the plan and nothing. The reason why when you go a little deeper is like, oh, because this thing might take longer to fix. And you have to get a architect from here or a city planner from there or blah blah blah. Or we can just patch it and go. And so
Mm-hmm.
we have had decades of the quick, just do it quick because hey, I don't want to look like I'm not doing my job. So
And
we've had that.
a strong part of my point also is the thing there. Urban planning in general, you plan a parish, you plan a city. What we've had, and not necessarily through a fault of a party or one party's project, really. Jamaica would just come out of. We're very close to independence, right? A lot of things happen just right. So the idea was like Kingston, we build up this piece because we're doing some over here. So this part get a lot of build up, a lot of business go there. So and then the roads get fixed. The roads happen to have a certain, building up around it. And then another part gets added on there. So think of like thing there. Portmore and how that gets built out. Because people start living there or over there gets built up. But there's no real strong plan across the whole cross section of the place. right now we have an opportunity to look at that properly and actually do it. So it'll be my hope that that is what is being done.
We had the opportunity now to be more intentional with what we're doing. So, do better.
Yeah, I remember, you know,
We are doing better.
they work for us, you know. So you don't like what they're doing, change them.
Facts.
Having said that, though, on that point, I think it's a good point to leave before, because I see the comments start coming in already politically, and I don't, we definitely don't want to argue about that. Let's argue about stocks. So, I definitely don't want to
Facts.
argue. So let's get that.
Thanks.
Facts.
Yeah.
You know. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you again, Andy B. Thank you as always, Tav. You know, I don't want to rush. I see the brick cutter and the jump on say something, and I don't want him to think we cut him out.
Give him one speech. I don't
Yeah,
see him
man.
online, so why not?
Cutter, you hearing us?
You shared off him from
From
before.
from my side, it have to listener.
He's a listener.
Maybe he came
Yeah,
back
I
off.
think
Yeah.
even from when he was on earlier.
Okay. I'd actually
Yeah.
no, man. It's when we were talking just now. It popped up and I'd said yes, but hey,
Oh.
it is what it is. We'll hear from him. Yeah. So having said that, thank you guys. Thank you, Danai, for doing this. Wrap now. Grow a subscriber, of course. We'll see a chill session tomorrow, and actually, that's part of a couple of things that's in the group notice. So I'll be up for a little bit, and thank you to everybody else who joined, and shout out to Shay. Hope everything is good on your end, and yeah. Then you want to tell people anything?
Big up, people. Enjoy the weekend. And the market is still here. Happy earnings season to all who participate, to all who celebrate. So yeah, look out. Good results coming out. And we started on that, and that we didn't say. So I'm sure next week we'll have
Right.
to say there. So
Yo, actually, you have one prediction for the people. You want to give the people one prediction?
prediction in what way?
Anything. Like, I'm thinking one obvious prediction. I think I've said it. Like, I think the Dolphin Cove time. I think the Dolphin Cove time is nigh.
I would say I'm loving JetCon. I saw that was the result I really wanted to say something. Well, I mentioned Carreras first, because I think it was top of my mind because I was starting the group. But JetCon, I really like what I saw there, and I think they're well in their bag.
So good, I didn't even want to talk about it. That's how good the JetCon is. Yeah, I've been kicking myself a couple of things this week. Yeah, the JetCon is. I saw Sir Berry tweet say him think JetCon is 100x or something like that. I saw a tweet from him that come up maybe early this week. Something about JetCon and
It's a $5 stock.
oh, there's he said it's a $5 stock.
Mm-hmm.
I was JetCon. I'm happy. We're happy from JetCon from before. So even the results are not. And the Dolphin Cove, though, I think it's time, because I'm surprised that they also postponed their first quarter results. They've sort of postponed the full year audited, and they've not postponed the first quarter results. I don't think they have that much time left. I think the time is nigh. Let's see if then they're still, the prices look like it's still under some amount of control. Yep, 1043, and who knows? The grower grads will get the more of what they've gotten over the last 2 months anyway. And the dollar. What do you think about the dollar surprise? Any thoughts on it? Ricotta or Danai?
Go again, Randy.
Or I was saying, what do you think about the dollar surprise?
Surprise being
Quote unquote surprise. I
Me
don't
no-
know if it's a surprise.
me no
But the
surprise.
Q1. Yeah, it shouldn't be a surprise.
oh yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Q1,
I'm
60% increase in profits.
Yeah, it just. Am I excited? That's a real question.
Massive dividend.
That's the real question. Yeah, massive dividend. Yay.
Yeah.
I mean, I know people are excited. I know that Dr. Dollar over it should be very happy right now.
I hope so. I hope he is. I hope he is.
I think it's exciting to see that there has been I was going to say no reaction. It's actually a negative reaction since the report and the dividend announcement.
I mean, it's all within the plan, eh?
Yes.
That's my thing, Phil. It's I don't know how much I want to say. Cause I don't want to sound that way. But it's yeah. I mean, great, nice. I expect good money from them and all that. It just how do I say this? Yeah, I like the company. I would buy it on this and whatever, sure, but it's just what do I expect to happen? How soon I expect to happen and all that. Yeah. So
Yeah, I think
in fact, I think like the reaction. I don't even call it a reaction. I just think it's all within the plan. I think this is a good price to buy it with all this niceness happening around it. It's just I think I easier set things off here. If
I
not
don't
feel
have-
like something heavy, I think I easier speak about this in this way.
I understand. Me too. And you know what? The Giants playground, but
Mm-hmm.
there is a certainty. At least for me, it's a lack of. There's a certainty that I'd like that it's hard to get with it, but it's that you can't knock it for fundamentals.
I can't knock it. Yes,
Yeah.
and
I think it's showing all the signs of something exciting happening around it.
Mm-hmm.
right. I think that certainty exists. There is a certainty that a relative certainty that something nice is going to happen, and that this price is not always going to be the price.
Yes, I
I
agree
think it's
there.
going to be
But
at a
then
much higher price.
But-
And if you are truly, really and truly investing for the long term,
it might not even be long term, you know. It's like or long term. The truth is, yeah, it's just maybe
I
I'm just
agree
not
with you.
necessarily. Maybe I just don't have a certain level of excitement around it. That's probably it. That's really it. It might be a personal thing.
Yeah.
That might be what it is. One or another is cool. I did like the dividend. I did like the results, and
Yeah, I think the price and the dividend yield will be a lot higher in the future.
I
I should say that
the dividend. So the dividend to me was thing that good coming from previous and
yeah, it's one of the best dividends. Yeah, if
and the
not their
meetup
best.
that's somewhat got me used to from them in terms of dividends. So yeah, good going forward and all that is just. Is this a trend? Is this are we setting a new trend here? Yeah, I feel so, but also again,
doubt.
how excited am I? I think right now is a good price to be buying it at. Just saying that, generally speaking. Yeah. And again, I don't even truly think long term or whatever. I think within this year, you probably there's a good play to be made here.
Same.
Don't
Within the year.
Don't make me sounding like this. Not make me. I'm not saying otherwise. Me sounding like that. So
I think the thing with you, Dana, is probably the
bad mind.
the element bad man and wicked is a lack of surprise. You're not surprised because
yeah, yeah. I've seen that work against how I sound about things very often.
yeah, it's been telegraphed for a long time, and it's just the steps being going through the steps. That whole ecosystem, in fact, is there's a lot of interesting things happening, and I'm looking forward to the rest of the year for that.
It's like you baking a cake. Your grandma bake a cake, and you're excited she's gonna bake a cake. But then it takes long to bake a cake. You have to prepare. You have to actually do. You done the whole of that. Then you have to actually put it over, and you have to wait another 2 hours. Yeah,
the cake ready to fall asleep.
Yeah, so you even you come to the house and it smell like cake. I'm like, oh, cake. Why you not excited? I'm excited. I mean, yeah, I like cake. It's just excited 4 hours ago. Still excited. I want cake when it comes. It's just yeah. There's some cake there.
Every year my birthday, I know that's coming.
Wow. Yeah, I like that. That's a good analogy. Boy. All right, I'll leave it there. I'll wrap it there. I'll say these two things I saw on YouTube that uh I think are good to mention. One was from Adrian Lawrence, 9586, who said that he listened and realized that he did what the conversation about. He took cap gains from Trans Jamaica and got some Carreras. Wow.
Not nice.
Wow. That's from dividend one payer to dividend two. Well, the real dividend payer. Yeah. Why not? As long as you do it in profit, Adrian, big up. And then and on this one says, man said Jetcon is a $5 stock, and 10 minutes later, large order came in the queue. Listen, buying is believing. That's what I always say.
Yes,
You
sir.
had 10 minutes.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. You had 10 minutes. Wow, was there any GNAC tweet though?
Long time.
long time. Look out for a more
Been
recent
a tweet
one,
about that.
right? Anyway,
Randy.
yes, Tab. As I'm cutting, you get the last
Yeah,
part.
man.
What's up?
No, man. No, the thing where Jerry did mention in the group, I don't know if I say it, if I did see it, as a matter of fact. When they mention about the Durham and the Regency, basically,
About RPL. Yes,
yeah,
yes, yes, yes,
yeah,
yes.
yeah, yeah, yeah. But you kind of find
RPL
that
and EPL.
interesting still. But yeah, but we can talk about that. Yeah, I think
Definitely
still.
talk about that Q to Q movement.
Mm,
Yeah, we can talk about that
mm,
at chill session tomorrow. Definitely not here for
mm.
everybody. You guys have those kind of conversations you can join the grower group, and you'll it is very profitable. Having said that, guys, have a good evening and good night.
Listen.
Indeed. Best of people.